just as long as I get there safe, like I really don't care. Like,
but that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you
down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. And that's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand.
Like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had sex with her dick all the time.
What's going on? Welcome back again to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement. And before we introduce the panelists, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button to this channel for more content like this. Once a week, Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, let's go on to do our regular scheduled introductions. We got Chris.
hi everyone. I hope that you're doing well. My name is Chris. You guys can find me on The Blooming Ebony here on YouTube and also on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony as well. And I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Taking Danielle's spot is Dr. John.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Y'all can find me over yonder on YouTube, Black Wall Street Trading. We can talk about a little stock options here and there. And you can find me at behavioral_consultant. That's behavioral_consultant on IG. So hit me up sometime. Y'all been hitting me up. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all been hitting me up and following me and asking questions. And I didn't know so many people had kids with all these special problems. I didn't know that for real. But that's good though. I got a solution for it.
Shout out to keeping you in business. So, stepdaddy season, all right? It's stepdaddy season, and then there's Cam Newton.
Oh, what's going on with Cam?
Cam Newton? Okay, we'll start with that one since I got you already. So, Cam Newton, this is what he said. That kind of broke the internet a little bit, apparently. So,
oh shit!
Fair use.
Which is a person who's just, you know, girl, I'm a bad bitch. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
You know, and it's a lot of women who are bad bitches. And I say bitches in a way, not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead. Bad bitch is a person who's just you know, girl, I'm a bad bitch. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
You know, and it's a lot of women who are bad bitches, and I say bitches in a way not to degrade a woman.
So that was all the heat that he said. That was everything. And a lot of people didn't like that. Well, predominantly a lot of women didn't like that. But there was also this one guy who did a reaction to it as well, kind of saying how sexist he is for wanting those things. But thoughts?
Chris, you want to go first? Because I'm gonna light it up.
You can go first. I'm excited.
Let me tell you something, man. Cam Newton ain't said nothing wrong. And any chicks, if you following any other narrative, let me know what it's like being an old maid. Let me know what it's like being an old maid. Because this whole new wave of thinking is hurting women more than any other way. It's not hurting us at all. It's not hurting men at all. Matter of fact, our stock is on the rise because y'all are taking y'all taking yourself out of the equation. But see, what he spoke was not an opinion. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. Sit back and learn how to cater to a man's needs. Period. There's not only are we protectors and providers, there's certain shit that we just don't like to do and will not do. But it's those same things that women like to do and feel comfortable doing. That's where the teamwork come in at. That's where the compliment is. It's not nothing sexist about that.
Okay.
Like, period.
Give me one quick second. Let's here's one woman that actually responded to it.
Eat off these clowns for a minute, isn't he?
My one and only response to Cam Newton's interview, and if you didn't see it, here's the gist. You can only be a bad or a true woman if you fulfill a man's needs, okay? Let them speak, so, or you let them lead, okay? Fair enough. No, not fair enough. It's 2022, babe.
Live Moods then entered the chat.
Wake up. Also, you've got me messed up. If you think I am doing things for a grown-ass man that he is fully capable of doing himself. I married a man, not a baby. Thank you very much. I will be a great wife someday. Believe that. But I am not at your every beck and call. You know why? Because I'm living my own life too, babe. Period. Yeah, Cam, that wasn't it. Wasn't it? Yikes.
And eviscerated him. So to recap, Newton believes women should cook, be quiet, cater to their husband's every need, and not be a boss chick, which Newton appears to think.
Bro, what's all this fake? This fake ass.
Give me 1 second. In Chaotic Truth, I'm going to be dropping the link in the chat really soon. I am Alex What. Thanks for being there in the chat, my man. You're lighting it up. I appreciate you. I'm going to be dropping the link in. If you guys are free and have some time, come up on the chat, talk to us live, and have some good lighting if you are going to have your camera on, please. But go ahead, John. What are you saying?
Man, listen, first of all, that chick will never be married.
You don't think so?
Hell no. She'll marry a simp. First of all, she's not gonna marry a man that another woman will want to marry. She gonna marry a puppy. Here, honey, come here. If you want some coochie, you better come here. You better come to mama. I give you some of this stank. What is it, honey? Now you be quiet and you go sit over there and you be a good boy. Okay. Get the fuck out of here. She'll never get married. Never. Ever. Ever hear that crap?
What's
There's
up?
nothing wrong with what Cam said. Nothing.
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty
Chaotic.
good. Pretty good. You know, I don't know how I feel about Cam Newton, man. You know,
Really?
Is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? Maybe, maybe not. But what I do know today, I never realized that this man is the next Prophet Muhammad. This man is, for all accounts, this man may be remembered 500 years from now. This man has the money, he has the power and the influence.
500 years from now, huh?
To speak for men like myself. You know, I'm a nobody. I don't make 50. I don't have a $50 million financial portfolio like Cam Newton does. But what I can say is that what he said, he's not a corporate shill. He's not worried about, will I get on an NFL team if I say this? He said what a lot of men cannot say, and I'm so glad he said it. A woman's place is in the house, taking care of the family, being domestic. What? And like I said it before, and I keep saying it, a woman's hands were made small by God to wrap around a mop, and her hands should be wrinkled when you come home from washing dishes. I grew up in a nuclear family. I think all of my friends did as well. And what I'm saying is that you got to listen to what Cam is saying. His parents are not baby boomers. His parents are probably from the greatest generation. So his parents are probably in their 70s. So he saw how a nuclear family worked. And did you hear when he said that my parents have been married for almost 40 years? A lot of people have to realize that Black people were married for a lot of years before the feminist movement came in. And when women wanted to be all independent and I got a PhD, I'm a Delta and all this nonsense. Nobody got time for that. No man cares about that. Do you know how many Deltas I know, AKAs I know? Those are my sorority sisters, by the way, that are single and they're in their 30s talking about I'm gonna get me a high level man. I said, sweetheart, and you are pushing 40. You're not going to get this unicorn. You should have got married in college when you were strolling. The same thing applies to these women who get PhDs. Men don't care about no PhD. You think some man somewhere is like, oh yeah, she got her PhD, man. That really makes her attractive. No. What makes you attractive, in my opinion, because I don't know how you guys feel, and I'm married, by the way, but what makes you attractive as a woman,
congrats,
is the same. Thank you. It's the same thing that what Cam said. Are you domestic? Are you quiet? And do you attribute to me? I'm the prize. And are you 5'10" and are you 130 pounds and under? But other than that, yes. And Cam Newton he said some divine words today. Damned divine. And that man, listen, as crazy as he dresses.
Real crazy.
Yeah,
real
as crazy as he dresses. What he said was on point. And I digress. Go ahead, guys.
Listen, that was those are some pure facts you were speaking. You know what? I am Alex. Thanks for coming up on the panel. I'm going to let you go. Yeah, I do want to throw in a little pushback, just for the sake of it. But absolutely. I am Alex. Go for it, my man.
Peace be upon everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Just give my quick opinion because I gotta go to my martial arts class after this.
No worries, man.
Yeah. What he said is facts. Like at the end of the day, like ask any man, do they care about degrees and all this stuff that women like to praise? No, we don't. And like I've seen it myself. in my like growing up, I was raised with, both my mom and my dad, and my stuff that my dad do. Like after, a while, I've seen the type of woman he be around. He don't be around no woman that's praising their education and all this stuff. They're doing they're doing the stuff in the household while he out working, washing the clothes, cooking the meals, washing dishes, swapping up the floor. I saw this myself, whether it's from my mom or whoever he messed with. And let's just like think about it. People, if and think of this, if men outside of America to find a woman that is a conservative, domesticated woman, what does that tell you about American women? I'm just saying, no shade. And it's just like women gotta really consider, what do men want? We're always saying about, what a man's supposed to do. She's supposed to go out and work. What is the woman supposed to do? And women always say, I'm going to enjoy my life. You had that time to enjoy your life when you were a teenager. Huh?
Do you guys think that that's the majority, the vast majority of women? Or do you guys think that's the loud minority?
Of what exactly?
The women that are out there right now. Me personally, I think that it's the loud minority that are boasting all these claims.
Well, I'll say it's the majority, because I just think if you see women, on social media acting that type of way and having their nails and everything, those are the type of women that aren't just cut out for marriage material. Women say they want to be marriage material, but are they acting in that way? Women, and what I've seen lately, women care about their own happiness than what they're supposed to be as a wife. And if you look at it, women will be more degenerate words, I'm not going to say, than be a wife, because they know that comes with work. And so it does on the male side. So if a man got to do what he got to do, what is the woman going to do in return? It's a give and take in relationship. It's not just take, and give.
What does a man have to transform in himself to become a husband, though? Like, because we always talk about what the wife has to do to transform herself to become that wife. What does a man have to do?
I say that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
People get mad at me for saying this. If you are able to provide for your wife, and if I don't have any children, but if you're able to provide for your wife, the home, to the point where your wife doesn't have to work anymore. My wife is a former attorney, by the way, tax attorney. And she hated it. She said, I can't work these long ass hours. It's not like the movies. People think being an attorney is like in the movies where, I don't know, they make it like this job. It's like a cool thing. Yeah, and it's not like that. And so she was working damn near 12, 14-hour days some days. And she said, I just don't want to do it. And I said, well, I'm making enough money. You don't have to work anymore. And so, me and her trade stocks together as well. So she, while she invests, so she's working to that degree. But the fact is that if you are a man, the idea is that you can provide for your family to the point where, that's what I think the whole husband is. And that's why I kind of agree with Cam Newton. He can afford to say everything that he says 1 billion times over because he's providing for that woman's lifestyle or, So I gotta agree with everything that he says. It's just
So then, for the man, you just have to get to a point where you can.
Yeah, you have to get to a certain point. You can't. No offense to anybody who's working at McDonald's, but you can't work on the fry machine at McDonald's talking and having the same talking points as Cam Newton. It ain't gonna happen. Just be single, work there. That's fine. But you can't be talking about you gonna cook and clean for me when I come home and you work at McDonald's and she got.
You can't handle the truth.
It ain't gonna work. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah. So a woman has every right to play you too. But yeah, that's the whole purpose. Yeah.
If I may interject real quick, I kind of have to agree with he said, like, at the end of the day, this is one thing a teacher of mine told me. People don't like rules, that are in America. Well, no, not that, but people like if you're living with your mom, your parents, you don't like their rules, so go out and make your own money.
Yeah.
And that's how this Cam Newton's at. And men, as like myself, we build our value and create ourselves over. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're much better now. Go for it.
Okay, yeah. But what I was saying is, let's say myself, if I was, for example, I was living with my parents and I didn't like their rules, I would have to go out, work hard, and make enough money to make my own rules. Cam
Yeah.
Newton's at that situation where he can make his own rules. And yes, working at McDonald's, Burger King, whatever, you can't make your own rules because you ain't making enough money. And once you're at the position to make money, then you can make your own rules. It's simple as that, you know. And whether you're not, but I just think like when it comes to relationships, the man gotta do his thing, the woman gotta do his thing. And just from what CT Chaotic Truth, my brother said about his wife about doing working, being an attorney working multiple hours, women don't want to do that. Men are built to do that. That's the difference between men and women, if I may just say. And I think if men and women logically understand the truth and differences, then women can relax in their areas and men can relax in their areas. I don't see what this is like 1 + 1 = 2 to me. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to understand.
Yeah.
Well, the idea that women are
in a position.
Women can sustain their own life now, though. Because you're all right. Let's think about it. Real quick. Women can now sustain their life.
That's
so
true.
This is true.
They financially do not need men.
That's true. Now,
that's where the misconception comes in. Mentally,
and you know what? And that is 100% true. So when a woman is on the road with her car broke down, when a woman needs help doing something, well, since you have all the money now, sweetheart, pay for security, pay for somebody to come fix your tire, because you can sustain yourself right now, right? So I have been called an asshole for not helping women do certain tasks. I got called an asshole one time because I was at an event with some old black women. They were in there having a good old time. When it came to picking up something heavy, all of a sudden, me and my friend, we all came into existence. And I said, "Oh no, man, we don't work here." She said, "Well, y'all men, y'all supposed to help." I said, "No, you're gonna do it. Bro, I'm not helping you pick up nothing because I'm not your slave." Now, if this was 1970. Maybe so, but not now because you're so independent and this, that, and the other. So, no.
How did that end out? How did that turn out?
They said that. Well, it turned out bad because, like, because I had they thought that I was mean and I was rude and they were older, but I didn't give a shit because, again, these women, they're so independent, right? So, hey, where's your husband at? Where's this at? No, I'm not helping you out.
I don't know.
If I'm can I tell a real short story real quick? Can you hear me?
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, I was just doing a little junk run, going to the store and everything, doing my thing. And while one woman, black woman, was coming out of the store, I didn't hold the door for her. Equal rules, equal lefts comes with equal rights. You want equal stuff, don't ask for
emotional damage.
Yeah.
Don't ask for something and don't stick by it. Don't act like you can't have your cake and eat it too, And then while I come to open the other side of the door, she look at me like, "You asked for equality. What? What am I supposed to say?" Yeah. Because and that was just all I had to say. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Because if men, in a hypothetical world, if men were doing the same thing that women are do, we would be looked at as fools. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Case closed.
Alex, can I ask you a question? Which martial arts are you a practitioner of?
That's actually a good question. I was curious on that too.
Oh, I say what?
Which martial arts are you a practitioner of?
I am currently learning Sanukis Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, created by Dr. Moses Powell, Dr. Urban, and now by my professor, Professor Zahalia.
Is that under the Gracie lineage? Oh, okay. Yeah, I practice under
down.
Say what?
No, what were you asking? I didn't hear you.
Oh no, I was asking, was it under? It's not under the Gracie lineage. I practice under the Gracie lineage.
Oh no, I personally I've never heard of that style. I'm just learning. This is a raw life defense.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu style. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Japanese jiu-jitsu. His is more along the lines of Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay. You need to hit me up. Like, Rob, I'd like to learn more about it, sir.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my channel's right here at the bottom. I want to say this real quick.
Good.
And I don't want to ball hog the panel. Chris, the blooming ebony. If shit were to hit the fan, I would not expect her to be in a foxhole with me fighting. Why would she be? She's 5 foot. I'm assuming 5'3", 5'4", 100 pounds, and women are not as strong as men. I wouldn't want her to. I wouldn't want to rely on her. And truth be told, she should not want to fight. So the thing is that there are gender roles in society that are automatically. I beg your pardon?
Where you been all this time?
Yeah.
I've been the only one hollering that. Come on with it, brother.
There's gender roles, and there's an expectation. When like in the Ukraine, I did a video about the cowards, these African and Indian cowards who have been living in Ukraine, utilizing their resources, utilizing the infrastructure, and as soon as the Russians came, all of a sudden, oh, I'm not Ukrainian, I'm not going to fight. But there's an expectation as men, whether we create it or not, that, hey, look, you've been living here. It's the honorable thing for you to do is fight for this country. The same thing in this country. If shit were to hit the fan, nobody really expects women to fight for this country. They don't have to. Okay, fine. Because men are supposed to die for country. Men are supposed to die for family, whether it's physical or political or whatever. So the thing is that what Cam Newton said is correct. There are expectation in gender roles. Why is it that there's an expectation if a woman says, well, you hear girls now saying, I need a 7-figure nigga. Nobody bats a fucking eye, even though that is not realistic. That's not 90% of men will never ever make 7 figures, even in the course of their lifetime. But when a man says, sweetheart, all I want is when I come home, just a nice meal, baby. That'll just make me. Any woman can do that. But that's the problem. That's when he's called a misogynist. But a woman's not called, I don't know what the word is, but nobody's downplaying with these rapping chicks, these city girls. I don't know what their names are. I don't listen to them. When they say, oh, I need a 7-figure nigga, something that's impossible. If you guys are following.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
Speaking truth, bro. What she's really saying is, I just want to be single.
That's what a lot of women are saying. Yep.
But where does it? And now here's this. I sit down with my boys because I have boys.
Yeah.
And I put them on game about. Listen, a movie is made with some basic parts that y'all know about, but there are other people who have to say in the editing that you don't know about, and those are the media psychologists. There's a team of media psychologists in all movies. I don't know if you knew that, but I could have majored in it. And it's a thing. And I did not know they made the kind of money they made. Google be lying. Them niggas make money. Okay, depends on who hire them and what the agenda is to be pushed.
Yeah.
Have you not noticed? Okay, now I was in the military for 8 years, and I was in special ops, right? And I had the pleasure of being at the 82nd Airborne Division, and that's one of the toughest that is America's Guard of Honor. Out of the regular units they ain't regular, they airborne, they paratroopers, but out of the conventional soldiers, not considered to be special operations under the special operations umbrella, you are going to find some of the most physically fit fucking men and women you're going to fucking meet in life. Mm-hmm. You understand me? At any point, any female, most of the females there can go compete in the fucking triathlon in place. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I'm talking about in the fucking place. Just get up out the bed and just go do it if they can swim. They can train to do the other shit, right? You ever notice how these movies, the women are saving men? You never noticed that? Have you not noticed that? Where these fucking women at? I want to know where they at in real life, nigga. Yeah. I want to know where they. I wouldn't even, when I was studying martial arts, coming up through the ranks, I wouldn't even fucking spar against a girl, because my sidekicks would take the fucking air out of most men. I had to pull on them. It'll fucking blast her ass through the whole wall. I just didn't want to spar against them, and if I had to, I would go very light, light. And you're still here. Ow, that's too rough. I'm like, goddamn. If I do it anymore, I can't even pivot off my front foot. Just go switch. Let's just switch out. But where are these super chicks at? I was a cop. Exist, I ain't never seen no goddamn female cop that can do all the shit I'm seeing these damn women doing the rookie. Get the
They
fuck
don't
out of here.
exist.
I seen it. It was a woman who's a whole black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Almost got the fuck beat out of her by a black female. That goddamn woman drug her ass till she got to that pepper spray. I'm talking about in the heat of the moment, and she's very fit, looked the part, looked like she looked the part. Now I'm thinking like, what if that was a man?
Women under what condition did this happen?
She grabbed that damn woman, and that black damn girl could go.
Was this in the military?
This was alive. Her trying to make an arrest, and she did not want to go. Her desire to not go to jail was a much higher than her trying to put.
Wait a minute. The police officer, the lady, she had a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
She had a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
and still got whopped.
She got fucking drugged. Yeah, because here's the thing. Here's the problem with this. One, you got to think of having a mindset.
Yeah.
You can know all the moves all you want to, but if you don't have a fighter mindset, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah, and a lot of
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen other arts where black belts get beat up in the street because you used to doing a certain, especially where did you get your black belt from? Do you flow roll or do you actually roll? Do you start from a standing position or do you start in a position?
Yeah,
dominant or a sub-dominant position and then roll from there. This woman grabbed her shit from out the blue, and that was all. She took her all the way out of her element. Now, was she able to get undone? Yeah, she was. But what if that was a man? That's my point. But what if it would have been a man? So why y'all gassing these women up in these movies thinking, well, you too can be? No, the fuck you can't. That woman that y'all seen in the movie, that shit choreographed, bro. She don't exist. She ain't out there. She just don't exist. She don't exist. I've never seen her. And I've been around fit ass women in shape and could run and hang with the guys a little bit. But at the end of the day, if shit hit the fan, guess who they need?
Oh man, right. Yeah.
And guess who they come to?
The men, yeah.
And they knew
you were gonna say something? You were gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I agree with Dr. John, because most of these fights that you see, even the ones that I like, all of them are choreographed. At the end of the day, like one girl and all these dudes, she gonna get busted. She not really doing no damage. Like, let's keep it a buck. A buck. Like I'm not gonna be sorry about this. Like, cool.
I want to take it out of the context of fighting. I do. I mean, the fighting is an obvious one. I'm now more thinking about like staying more on the topic of what Cam Newton says, being able to cohabitate together. Why do you guys think that's such a hard thing to do nowadays?
The reason why I think it's a hard thing to do now, the reason why I think it's so hard to do nowadays, because it's one, probably the environment that you're raised in and the type of parents you have and their mindset as well, because most children are going to copy what their parents see. If you going to put it like a computer and show them what to do, or are you going to put a rap and some weed or show them how to roll a blunt? Like, come on. Like, children nowadays, like, that's what they're doing. And if you see like in social media and in, what we see nowadays, where are they promoting? Are they promoting the education and this and just, it's like, and also some women like to cause chaos in a relationship. Some women will like, if there's no problem and a man is doing everything right, a woman will still create a problem out of nothing just to be satisfied. Oh, I feel good today.
That's the natural nature of women, I would say.
Well, I mean, whether it is or not, is either you learn how to control it or balance it out, or really try to understand what a man wants. And if you're really about it, and are you going to apply it, or are you just going to keep acting like you going to speak about it? What's really good?
CT, question for you. As a married man, prior to being married, did you feel you had to? When did you feel, okay, I'm ready to take this next step? Was it prior to finding your wife, or was it, this is the woman I want to marry?
It was the second one. It was, this is the woman I want to marry. She was, or she is, from a nuclear family. She compliments me in every way. and I can see myself being with her until one of us passes away. But before that, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was a multiple philanderer. I used to love sleeping around. I'm not gonna lie, like most men. But when I met her, I said, okay, yeah, this is who I want to be with because I feel like she's my partner. So yeah, she was like the only woman I've ever been with that I ever felt like that.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question in the chat though. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
G Welfare says, do you guys believe that America has systemic race, or is systemic racism a big thing? G Welfare, if you're still in the chat, no, I don't believe that America has systemic racism. I believe that America is the greatest country on the planet. We actually, I believe, live in the greatest time period in human history. Black people, especially in this country, have become senators, obviously a president, vice president, presidents of universities, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Black people have been able to educate themselves. You can go to any college and become anything you want to be in this country. This country has produced more Black millionaires than any other country on the planet with a Black population. This country, literally, the ironic thing is that a Colin Kaepernick who makes $50 million can say he's a slave. It just shows you how things really are in this country. You have paved roads, you have a great infrastructure, you have great social services. Believe it or not, the police aren't bad. There's people getting pulled over right now, and they're just getting tickets. When you generally abide by the law, there is nothing will happen to you. For the most part, the same people who are asking these questions would never want to live in most Black African populated countries. Most Black people would never want to live in Africa, Brazil, the Caribbean, Papua New Guinea, anywhere where there's a lot of Negroes. You don't want to live there. And so yeah, hopefully that answers your question, G Welfare. If you want to cam up, please cam up if the panel allows you to. Go ahead, sir.
Of course. Yeah, I'd be.
All right, so I'm gonna have to agree and disagree with him.
Mm-hmm.
So the system is there, but you have to know how to play the system. Now let me explain myself.
Go ahead.
If you raise your son and your daughters to not get in trouble, and you really drive that home to where there are no second chances, do not even think there's a second chance. If you basically train little snipers on behaviors, one shot, one kill, you got one shot at this, you can't get in trouble. You can't get in trouble. You have to limit your troubles. And you follow this blueprint. You get involved in this network, and then you'll be fine. Then there is no systemic racism. However, if you don't do that, and you do get in the system, you will feel that systemic racism. And I'm going to ask you, if it wasn't systemic racism, if there was no system, what would be the need for you to ask if someone had a felony before? The question has changed over the years. They don't even ask that anymore. Have you ever been arrested? Who do you think they targeting for that? They have statistics that count who gets arrested, for what they get arrested, and all of these things. I talked about this in a previous about the pyramid of needs. That's why your recidivism. That's one of the reasons your recidivism rate is so high, because at the very base level, if you take away the physiological, the ability to eat, the ability to shelter, none of this other stuff matter. You're never going to get off the first shelf. Self-actualization for you is out of the question. So you're going to have to go to the streets. And the reason I said that, because if you get in trouble and you catch a case and it's a felony case, if it's a felony drug case, you can't go to school anymore. You're done. Oh, not on your own. You can go on your own dime, but you can't get a Pell Grant. You can't get any financial aid. Now, if you get a felony period, you can't get you can't get housing, and you can't get EBT. You can't get those two things. So now what do? So if you don't get them to if you don't circumvent that problem, that part right there, then I agree with him. This is one of the best times to live in America. The sky's the limit for you. You cannot say I did not get that job because I was black. You can say I didn't get that job because I don't interview well. I did not get that job because I was ill prepared. I didn't get that job because I was not qualified. But have you, so there's your credit. What's your credit looking like? The average black person is not educated on finances. The average black person does not understand how to build credit. If I ask that question, well, you just pay your bills. No, it's more complicated than that. Pay what bills? Well, like your light bill, your phone. Man, this shit don't report to no credit bureau unless you owe them money. You can pay the light bill on time every month. Your credit score will not change. It won't even show up. You have to go and get credit. I asked them, do you have a credit card? That's one of my vetting questions for a woman. Do you have a credit card? Do you have a major credit card? Well, no, stay away from them credit cards that let me know you don't know anything about finance. I'm not going to not date you. Because of that, we're going to get into some meeting, but I know where I need to know where we need to work with each other, where I need to teach you from. You was going to say something, CT?
Yeah, about 15 years, am I 37? Yeah, about 15 years ago, I dated 2 Rwandan girls back to back from the country Rwanda. One of the girls I dated, these were all college flings. One of the girls I dated, she literally witnessed her entire family being exterminated in front of her. She told me like stories, like it was horrific what she told me. The other girl, she was not in Rwanda at the time when her parents were killed. Now, these girls, both of them ended up becoming medical doctors. I also went to school with, I knew a girl who lived in Liberia, and she lived there when Charles Taylor was president. Charles Taylor is actually in prison right now for life with his son, because when they were in power, they were pretty much complicit in the civil war that took place in the 90s. And she said she witnessed all types of atrocities. Now, that was just 28 years ago in Rwanda. Liberia was 20 years ago when Charles Taylor was exiled and the Civil War ended. Now, these 3 girls that I knew, though they were from different, Liberia is the west coast of Africa, Rwanda is the east coast, though they had different experiences, one thing I noticed is that they didn't have any excuses. These girls were hardworking. These girls never cried. Of course, the girls from Rwanda, when they were telling me stories, they were sad, of course, but they didn't have this woe is me victim mentality. And the thing is that whether black people in this country have felonies or not, this country allows you to start a business whenever you would like. You can. It's a free market society. You have no religious persecution here. You have no systemic racism here. You don't have to beg people for credit cards or jobs. You can literally start your job, or you can start your own business. You can't really do these things in other places on the planet, like Eastern Europe. It's pretty hard to start your own business in Ukraine, a poor Eastern European country. It's pretty hard to start your own business in Zimbabwe, maybe. But America gives you the free, and you already know because you served our country, and thank you very much, but you already know that a lot of these men with felonies, they're making excuses, just like a lot of single mothers may make excuses. A lot of other groups of people other demographics may make excuses. So I see where you're coming from, but I also worked in probation. I was a probation officer. It was my first job out of college. I hated the job. And the same thing happened. Oh, I can't get no job. And I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't beg the white man for a job. Maybe you should start your own job. Maybe you should do your own thing. Maybe you should work hard and do something other than begging. Because I find it funny when we beg each other, black people will call us out for begging. But when we beg the white man, it's they're practicing discrimination or they're racist. Well, maybe they should be racist. Maybe they don't want to hire you. And to a degree, they don't have to hire you. To a degree, it's about time for us to break that cycle and be independent of these people. That's what I just believe, though.
Okay, go ahead.
That's just what I believe, So yeah,
it's definitely a tough cycle because, again, that's something that's generational at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been conditioned to. It's not even just us, but all kids coming up have just been conditioned to be employees. So now you're saying break that mold, which listen, definitely understandable because the information is out there now, but the willingness to want to do it is, I guess.
But it's not just the willingness to want to do it. Let me tell you something. You have to be smart when you open a business. I'm not going to try to encourage somebody to just run something into the ground. You understand what I'm saying? If you open a business the right way, which is writing a business plan. You know, if I had it was this girl I was talking to, just friendly, whatever. And she said, well, I want to, because, you know, I'm all about that walk. I was like, well, if you need help with your business plan, let me know. And I started listing the major points in the business plan. Executive summary, SWOT analysis. Now, what's that? I'm like, you don't know. All right. So have you looked at how to write a business plan? No, I don't know. I just want to do something. Like, if you want your business to be successful, you better learn how to write a business plan, because if you can't make it work on paper, you're not going to make it work in real life. You've got to have that blueprint so that this is how you handle the variables that you didn't account for. You're going to account for a certain amount that's why you get demographic information. That's why you understand a SWOT analysis, or who is your competition? Who has the business that does the same or similar thing that you do within a 50 to 100 mile radius, and that information is out there. Business plans are very easy to write because you don't have to, no longer gone are the days you have to sit in the damn library, get a librarian attention, get her to look up all this shit for you at a nominal fee. No, you just Google, hit it where you live at, Google that shit. You can write a business plan in a day. And if you really want big money though, you need to take some time and maybe take a week or two to get that thing together. But that's neither here nor there. A person have to know. And then there's the accounting aspects of it, understanding how to all of that.
May I say something real quick?
Go for it.
Yeah, because I'm about to head out after this. Whether it's systematic, I can't pronounce the word, but yeah, thank you. No matter whether it's that or yourself, it's up to you. And like Dr. John said, and everybody else says, no excuses. Whether you're a single mother or a single dad, wherever it may be, you can't make excuses. And Google, that is like the one place you can look up any question by voice or by typing it on your phone, tablet, computer. So if you're really about it, make it a business or doing whatever you want to do, be about it and stop making excuses and say, oh, this and oh, that. Because if getting your nails or whatever is important to you, then you really not about it. So don't make excuses and work for it, because this is the best place to make a business and the best time. But yeah, I'm out. Thank you, CKQ, and everybody else in the field.
Yeah. This panel is awesome. I'm definitely gonna come back. How often do you go live?
We go live once a week only. Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Yeah, Tuesday 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Yep. Well, definitely, man. I'll definitely try to make it back, man. This panel's awesome. I'm glad that you guys don't cut each other. I go to so many panels, people cut each other off. This panel was very unique to the fact that you guys just let me talk, and I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I mean, the whole idea is the whole point of these panels, I think, is to exchange ideas. You know, see what I can learn from you, see what you can learn from me, see what we can even brainstorm together. Like that's how we build as a community, is by listening to each other's ideas and compounding on top of it. But real quick, I want to drop one more question to the panel and to you. So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So the panel. More young men should be honored to be stepfathers. More young men.
What?
More young men should be honored to be stepfathers.
You better stay the hell away from that.
So since I'm about to leave, can I answer this question?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
The only reason why a man should ever be a stepfather is that if we go through some sort of great war and a lot of women that were married to soldiers have died, and a man coming back saying, we have to rebuild this society and these boys have to have strong male leadership, and we have to protect them. That's the only way.
Only way.
There is no reason why a man should ever be a stepfather in this in any peaceful peacetime.
He came back for that one.
Never, because it's very. I used to teach, man, but I'm telling you, it's very dangerous for a man to be a stepfather. Those kids can lie on you. You may have to fight. Listen, you may have to fight the stepfathers or the baby fathers. Man, my daughter said you said something to her, my nigga. I'm like, sir, I didn't say anything. It's too many variables, and it's not worth it on you as the man. If you are a single man, especially with no kids, the best thing you can do is build your wealth up, and be with a woman who does not have children. There is no reason why you should ever marry a woman like that. Go ahead, Doctor.
I'm gonna add something to CT.
Never.
Now, being an older man like myself, a more seasoned man, fuck, man. It is what it is. I mean, it don't have to be, because there are women who are young and they like older men that don't have children yet. But that's cool. But it don't bother me. But it bothered me when I was in my 20s. I wasn't fucking with you if you had if you had a child. Like when you said child, I'm done. Yeah. I don't want to hear nothing else. It's a whole damn problem. Big problem.
Now here goes the thing, sir. Now I don't know how tall you are or big you are, but I'm under 6 foot. I'll tell you that. I ain't trying to be knocked out by some 16-year-old boy. That ain't my son. And I've seen a lot of, and that happens a lot. A lot of these dudes, they get with a woman, the kid is 8, then he grow up, he gets stronger and taller. And then one day he say, nigga, man, maybe you and the mom is arguing, and the son say, nigga, that's my mom. Nigga, you ain't my real dad, my nigga. And then, y'all get to fight, and then he knock you out. Then you're going to be the 40-year-old man knocked out, and everybody's laughing at you. So that's another reason why I say stay away, especially if you're a smaller man, under 6 foot. You don't want to be 51 years old being knocked out, and I
over here getting abused, hostage by the wife and her son. Yeah, like you heard my mama, nigga, wash them dishes, nigga.
Please say something, and I'm really gonna go. This is the reason why I came on here. I had to say something about this, man. Please say something, CKQ.
Go for it, man. Listen, appreciate you coming. I'm glad we enticed you to come back.
What's that? A slave boat? What is that?
I was watching in the background, to seeing where the topic was gonna go. But when you said that, I was like, "Yup, let me head back." But what I'm gonna say is like, look, at a certain period of time, back in the 80s or 90s, I'm a 90 baby, 93 if you're, yeah. But I think it was good time to be a stepdad. It was honored, because there were certain men who weren't taking care of responsibilities, whether child support is involved or not. And support the woman, but now the fact that women are saying like, oh, I got a sneaky link and this stuff, saying stuff right on other social medias right before their wedding about this. What man wants to marry a woman like that nowadays?
Never.
Now it's like women are abusing and taking advantage of being a single mother and thinking they can still be for the streets, as it says, or whatever it is, and have these multiple guys. And I think this whole I can be just like a man, or do, and then the man we are equal comes into play. That no matter how many bodies a woman have, but at the end of the day, being a stepfather, I don't think is a good choice, because at the end of the day, the child's always gonna come first. You're second. Who wants to be second to anybody? And what man wants a woman to be their last choice? What man will be a last choice for another woman? Let's be honest. I know I wouldn't. I want a woman to like me for who I am, and and so on and so forth. But I don't think being a stepdad for any woman is a smart thing, because it's just not. No.
Yeah.
I think, the reason why I pose that question, because I think we focus so much energy right now on how Russell Wilson is like a simp of the year for stepping into a situation like that and taking care of those kids, being a stepfather and being with someone like Sierra. Okay? We spend so much energy attacking his character and there's really no energy focused at all on Future, who's the one that created all those kids and left. So what I'm saying is, why are we focusing so much on telling men to control have a little bit better dick discipline, but instead of saying to men like, oh, just don't get with that woman with the kids?
Wait, ask that one more time.
We focus so much energy on telling men to not go with the woman with the kids instead of telling men control your seed, have better dick discipline.
Oh, sir, you got to come to my channel. I talk about that all the time. Sir, listen. There are cities that if a girl were to tell me, well, before I got married, if a girl were to tell me I'm from if a girl were to tell me I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, I would never have sex with that kind of female. I believe hardcore in eugenics, and I believe hardcore in sexual selection. There are places where if a female will say, I'm from here, I'm like, oh, hell no, because I already know the mentality, the culture, the genetic gene pool. You know, there's a lot of incest within the Black community that's not even talked about. There's some cities where Blacks have never even left. So they're essentially having sex with their own. They don't even know that they're all related and shit. So there's people that I won't even risk having kids with just for a fun night. I've been all over, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sleeping with her. Absolutely not. Oh, I'm not doing that. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. And especially with a single mom, absolutely, that would never happen. I'm not gonna have sex with her. No. I would have to be on blotter acid to do something that stupid. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I'm just this dude. But when I ain't gonna lie, in my 20s, you know, I was sleeping with every fucking woman walking if possible. But now at 30, and especially married, 37, especially, no, absolutely not. No. If I wasn't married, you got to be from LA. You got to be from one of the better cities economically. You got to be tall. You got to be thin, and you got to be, a certain complexion. You know, my wife is super dark. She looks Sudanese. You got to, yeah. So yeah, you got to come to my channel. I talk about all that stuff on my channel.
Interesting. Okay. All
right. I'm probably gonna subscribe to your channel, my brother, because
I got two of them: CT Reacts and Chaotic Truth. What'd you say?
Nah. No, I wasn't saying what you're saying is truth, because just like women have a type, men have a type, and I know have a what type of body type I want for a woman who I want to be with. Like, let's just keep it a buck, and the fact that men know these things and knowing more about it and knowing that they have more options than just in California or wherever state a man is living at currently. Why would you even take that risk? And another little story, real quick. I want to say this. I was 16 years old. My birthday just passed. My older sister. I'm the last of 6. I have 2 older sisters. My oldest sister. I was sleep over her place. Oh yeah, play some video games. She had a relationship, and her current boyfriend had a sister, nice, cute, dark skinned girl. We almost, we got to making out and everything, in little bedroom fun, whatever. And you know what she said to me?
What's that?
I think I'm ready.
Ready for
Whoa! She said, I think I'm ready. Now, I think we all know what that kind of means. Like, she was like, ready to get active. I'm like, and one thing that automatically came to mind is I don't have, protection,
Right.
And I just thought about, all of the statistics of, men being, whether they are single fathers or women doing what they do, and shows like Maury, Jerry Springer. But yeah. And I said, nah, I'm cool. And keep in mind, the next day was gonna be my first day at middle school, and all the other teenagers, black folks asked me, "Oh, have you ever had intercourse before?" I'm like, really? Is this the only thing on your mind? Girls having putting they one girl having red shorts, burgundy shorts, putting her, punani right up in front of me. Like, oh, you never seen one and all this? I'm like, yo, y'all need to chill out. Oh shit. It's just like, and what both of my parents taught me for, I didn't send you to middle school, high school to get a girlfriend or to have friends. I sent you there to get a high school education, not to have no girlfriend, not to have friends, not to have no baby mamas, And I'm like, cool. And from what social media and movies and stuff coming on, I'm like, I'm not trying to that responsibility, because at the end of the day, I know nothing about, nor have I been studying anything about being a single father or a father in a relationship.
Can I ask you a question about what you just said about your upbringing?
Yes.
Sure. Do you think there's definitely positives to what they said. Do you see any negatives coming out from telling you, I didn't send you there to get a girlfriend or become a baby daddy? I sent you there to get an education, XYZ. Do you think there was any downsides to that? Do you feel like there were any downsides to that?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. No, I mean, yes, being that never, having a girlfriend, but at the end of the day, I'm not tripping, because when I was in grade school, my older siblings were in high school. They had other female students who were, pregnant, 6 months, 9 months, 8 months pregnant. And my generation, when I went to high school, other girls being pregnant, and stuff. So did I really want to be a part of that group of guys doing that? Oh yeah, like, oh, this is a section where the dudes being single fathers. Like, no. Like, and at the end of the day, I'm not really there for it. It's not like, this is not school like, oh hey, we're gonna teach you guys to have a boyfriends and girlfriends and be married. That's not what they're teaching us at this high school, whatever state you go to. Are they? Yes or no? What? So like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? And I think it's kind of asinine and ridiculous for even like people when you're 12, 13 or teenage to be talking about relationships, to keep it a buck. Like, why are you even talking about relationships?
The reason why I asked that question a little bit is because that's something I realized within myself that I kind of suffered from a little bit. And I realized that because I focused so much more on school and work and everything like that, I didn't properly understand how to socialize too well. I'm not saying that's you. I'm saying that's what I realized within myself. I'm getting an echo from school.
Bad one. Bad one.
No, I hear you, but what I would say, like, if this kind of relates to that, but I grew up, dancing, break dancing, in high school and stuff. And I have that group I hang out with, and my black friends, the ones who are basketball players, footballs, and those
black friends. Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to, separate the difference of like the groups I was hanging around. Like, I'm no shade, no offense, but the point of it is just like, say what's up. And the way how I talk to them, one of them I said, "Why are you talking white?" Asked him, "What you mean I'm talking white? Like all proper and stuff and everything?" Like, because I know what I'm talking about and I know how to say it in a certain way. I mean, if that makes me seem white, I'm not going to apologize for it. Like, I just know what I'm talking about, how to talk about. And I was born in the Nation of Islam, so like, and I practiced Muslim, being a Muslim all my life. So like me, how I learned, I'm a visual person. So the word tumultuous, that means another way to saying hard or difficult, and I learned that from a show I watch. I ain't gonna get into details, but I learned in a different way. So if that makes me white, oh well, I don't care. I'm still black at the end of the day.
Okay. See, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm trying to decide at some point in time when I'm a parent, how I would like to direct my children. Because I'm more thinking socializing is a very key component when it comes to children. Just being able to interact with the same sex and as well as the opposite sex without it becoming anything sexual. It doesn't always have to be sexual, but you should be able to interact with them.
Yeah.
And I think we lose that when we say don't focus on this. We emphasize so much, don't focus on this, just focus on this. Don't. And I think that really demonizes the opposite sex or demonizes even relationships, just regular interpersonal relationships with the opposite sex. But go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. Go ahead, Doctor. You're going to say
going to school to, first of all, telling them to not do it. I mean, you can forget it. It's going to happen. I mean, you can tell them all you want to, but you got to keep them grounded. You understand? They're going to socialize automatically. I mean, humans are social beings. You're going to socialize. You It is not natural for you to want to be by yourself and not be around nobody else. If you start feeling like that, then something's going on, because we are sociable creatures. We gain energy from socializing with other people. So you have to get them into sports. You have to get them into group and team activities, and then you need to mimic that same spirit at home, and you need to teach them how to be subservient. Stop letting the children just be fucking free when they're at home, like just sitting around doing absolutely fucking nothing. That's crazy as hell. A kid be on a video game 19 hours, 18 hours just because they don't have to go to school. That's ridiculous. All that wasted ass time. And then you wonder why we suffer in math. And you wonder why we suffering. You can't study math like you fucking study for an English test. You have to practice those damn problems. You have to do them and be able to recognize them. You got to know when you use the binomial theorem or you can fucking complete the square. You got to know those shits. Look, there's sometimes you have to use the FOIL method, and then sometimes you don't. You have to know when to recognize it because the shit looks similar. And the only way you're going to know that is to practice the shit. But then Japanese kids, how are they raised? First of all, they don't keep no fuck toys. You will own this building. Fuck a toy. You can learn how to make this toy and reproduce it for these dummies to buy. They learn advanced math at an early age, but they have no childhood. And they're not broke neither. So they stay in a child's place. They learn what they need to learn as a child. I mean, what do you think the child needs to learn? Huh? Your child is just learning to become an adult. Period. They can play before they get to school. When they get to school, they need to focus on that. Because at the end of the day, you need certifications. You need certain things. You need a skill. You need a skill, or you need to have something that proves you know how to do something. Because people don't want to hear, I can do this. Okay, well, are you licensed in that? Well, no, I never did go. Oh, okay. Well, you're so smart. Then they'll call somebody up that probably is not as smart as you. But because they have the paper, that's what they're going to hire. It is what it is. So you keep them grounded and you keep them fucking focused. Do you have to tell white kids all the time to focus? Let's keep it a buck.
No, when I was teaching, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. You don't.
The white kids would shut the fuck up in class, and the black kids would still be trying to get a fucking laugh.
They were generally pleasant kids.
Look at the kid. Look at Teach's pants. Ha ha ha. Nigga got a whole F in this goddamn class. Can't spell 3 words with 7 letters in that motherfucker. You put 4 letters and a consonant in there, he's lost.
But it's glorified to be you know, a little illiterate or
to be the dumbass.
Yeah, and like that's just how some people move.
I mean, and those are the dudes that girls are attracted to.
Let's get to CT.
Yo,
not you, Chris. CT, you had something to say. You were going to say earlier.
Well, I think I forgot it. I'll be back the next time you go live, man. Thank you so much, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you. You want to shout out your channel real quick?
Oh, the first channel is my upload channel is just CT Reacts, and the other channel is Chaotic Truth Live. I go live about 3 or 4 times a week. That's what I was going to tell you. You were talking about kids. My last live stream, which was yesterday, I talked about public schools. And how, I was a former teacher, and how you should never send your kids to public schools. I listed the reasons why I quit teaching years ago. And I say that public schools generally are trash. Unless you are in a very good tax bracket, don't ever send your kids to any public school. So yeah, you were talking about, if in terms of socializing your kids if you have them in the future. So yeah.
Tell them, hey, list the reasons why I'm here. I'm curious.
Well, one of the reasons, so I have, my first reason is, if you watch the live stream, I get right into it within the first 2 minutes of my last video. The first reason is fighting. Literally, man, at every public school I've ever taught at, it's fights every damn period, all day long. The kids fight each other. They fight the teachers. They fight the administrative assistants. They fight security. And a lot of the times is that, when you're nice to the kids, they really want to fight. I don't know what that is, And you know me, man, I'm not a big dude, man, but you know, I don't want to have to knock out somebody's kid, man. You know, so that's one of the reasons why I quit. Another reason is the parents. You know, there's a liability issue in the public school. You know, a lot of these parents have 3 and 4 kids. They expect the school to manage not only 1,000 kids, but specifically hone in on their kid. If anything happens with that kid, if they get dropped off at the wrong bus stop, you got a parents that want to come up there and fight you. And it's like, well, how come you didn't, make it in life to the point where you can afford a chauffeur, you can afford an assistant, you can afford, so a lot of times the administration has to deal with, or the secretary staff or whatever, they have to deal with these irate parents coming in, and you don't want to say the wrong thing. And I showed the video after video of wild parents coming up to schools about any reason that they can come up in their head. Another reason is grooming culture. You have a lot of this LGBT rainbow.
There we go. Come on with it. I was waiting for that.
And listen, I don't think any sexual orientation should be taught in school. Generally, heterosexuality is normal, because generally kids, when they hit maturity, when I hit 10, 11, I started liking girls. Like, damn, I like her for some reason. And that just naturally. I got a question for that. Let it naturally happen. Don't teach these kids that there are different sexual orientations at 6 or 7 years old. And I noticed that 10 years ago when I was teaching. So I said, I gotta get the fuck up out of here, because this, this is absurd. So so I have 3 big reasons. But what's the question, though, CKG?
So sex ed, do you think is an important educational course in high school?
Yes. Sex ed, when I was taught sex ed, they taught us what condoms were. They taught us how to use condoms. They didn't teach us, you're gonna be heterosexual. They never taught us that. They didn't have to. I already liked the chicks in the class.
You knew.
They taught us, listen, you don't want to bring kids home to your parents. Their parents are old. They ain't trying to take care of no kids. You ain't trying to get an STD. This is what you got to do. They never talked about orientation. They never talked about, you're going to be heterosexual, you're going to be this. And that's the problem in a lot of these schools now. These lesbian teachers, these homosexual teachers, they want to talk to these kids about transsexuality, things like that. And that's what makes it not sex ed. But I think sex ed is important.
Recruitment.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this. Teenage pregnancy is down significantly compared to when I was a kid in the 90s. I want to point that out.
Yeah, because they don't know to have sex with each other. Them motherfuckers is up here talking about I'm a boy today, I'm a girl tomorrow. I
want to identify as a turtle one day. Let me see how far that gets. But yeah, CKQ, that's what I believe. I think that I talked about the reason why I can't stand public schools. So, I'm glad that Florida has introduced a bill that bans teaching about sexual orientation. Ohio is next, House Bill 616.
Alabama,
and I think other states will follow suit with these bills on banning.
Ours is banned. Like, it's been banned. Like, you won't.
What state are you in?
Alabama. You can't talk about that shit here at all.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Our sex ed consists of heterosexual, like it used to be. Like, they talk about how women get pregnant. Yeah, they talk about putting on a condom and all that. Right. They don't talk about shit else. They don't talk about no he, she, it, them, they.
Yeah, they don't tell you
none of that bullshit.
Yeah, right.
They don't allow boys.
Did you mean to say?
They can't do none of that there.
Did you mean say cis woman?
A what?
Oh my gosh.
I do not like those words.
The fact that you can't say that women get pregnant nowadays.
I'm gonna head out for real.
Yeah, have a good one. Hey guys, you guys have a good one. I'm about to be out too.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys.
Excuse me.
He said later. I said later, CT. Later, Alex.
Later, Alex. Take care, my man.
Oh no, hold up. I just wanted to say something real quick before I head out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the back of what CT said about public schools. Fights is like a really big thing, and a lot of things. And one little story. The reason why I'm learning martial. I was in a class, my own business. A black brown skin girl, slapped me on my side of my head twice. Like them hits that, like when your parents hit you, like you give you a pause, like this stuff just really happened. I said nothing to her. I did nothing to her. And the Hispanic girl fought her. because of her, hitting me. I didn't ask her to. She did it.
Wait,
I'm doing Record World Star, doing all that type of stuff. Huh?
Hispanic girl fought her for hitting you?
Yes,
Is that what
because
you
she
said?
saw what she did. She was across the classroom. Yeah, and the fight went for a few minutes, and then eventually the teacher came in and stopped it and brought us all out. And I had to delete the video, and it was never shown. But at the end of the day, this is the reason why I am learning martial arts. Because like I would rather go to jail than ever let a black woman ever or any woman ever put hands on me. Like straight up, like I'm not about that. Like equal lefts. If one name mass energy, be about it. Because I'm not about this. It's not about me and put your hands on somebody.
Emotional, damn it.
6 feet tall or 5 feet, whatever. It just you don't do that, But it's just like in public schools, I do not think it's the best option for parents be sending their children, because a lot of fights gonna happen, and gangs and all this other stuff. It's just like no. But yeah, that's what I want to say. So I'm like a piece of ball, and y'all keep it going.
Alex, take care, man. Wow.
Yeah, y'all feminists, y'all see what y'all doing to this younger generation of men. Y'all get knocked the fuck out fucking with them. See, old school niggas like me, I won't put my hand on you for nothing in the world, but these young niggas ain't playing that shit. You get in their face, they knocking your ass out.
They
fucking that ass.
I learned old school.
And I'm like, man, damn, man, you can't really blame them, because you talking some, we are equalist men. But go ahead, Wayne. I will. Wow.
They will.
Then when you get that ass back, I'm a woman. I can't believe you hit me in my nose. You broke it.
You broke it.
I'm laughing about it. I would never teach my boys to hit a girl. I don't hit women at all, but women don't hit me either. So we gotta understand it. I mean, but I know a little nigga. Hell, man.
Danielle. Shout out to you, Danielle. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Anticlimactic, very much.
How y'all doing?
Good. I want to ask you a quick question.
Hmm.
Let's address this comment.
Mm-hmm. What? I said what I said.
You said what you said. You meant what you meant. Can I get some clarification on that comment, if possible?
Why they trash?
Yes.
They trash. Who's the trash? Who bombing the piano?
The two that was at the bottom.
It was
wasn't
CT.
me at top.
CT and Alex.
Sorry, continue.
Man, so they trash because they was in here bragging about being mean to some black women and talking about he ain't no slave to move a damn chair or a table or something. Like that's working like a slave to be polite. If that's working like a slave, then you have to believe that a woman taking care of you, cooking and cleaning, is definitely working like a slave, because that's a whole lot more.
I think it was less about the question and more about how it was presented.
They just sounded real braggadocious about being assholes. And it was just like, it came from nowhere to even explain that you did something like that. Like, just because women can earn their own pay, because you brought up them earning their own pay, and this was their response to that. So it's like, so since women can make their own money, you can't open a door, you can't move a chair. Like,
now he was responding mainly to the equality part. the part that when women be talking about how we all equal, like the biggest narrative right now being pushed is like inclusiveness and equity, which is bullshit. You can't have a fucking walrus and a seal, though they're in the same family. The motherfuckers ain't equal.
But CKQ said, but we're going to bring it back into this, and was speaking to women making their own pay. And that was their response. It was just like, y'all trash.
You weren't a fan of it.
At all. because it wasn't cute. I don't even care. Like, what do being equal got to do with being polite? If I see a man and his hands is full, I will hold the door open for him. I'm supposed to be mean to him because we equal? Those two don't even correlate.
So then, okay, granted. So then guys like Alex, who grew up with a girl smacking them or stuff like that.
I mean,
for
he
no reason.
So he get bullied. That's just it. Everybody gonna bully him. If a girl hitting him, I'm sure boys beat him up too. Everybody beat him up because he just looked like he can be beat up.
What? Okay, interesting.
Has nothing to do with somebody being black or somebody being a female. If you look weak, you are prey. You know, do some push-ups, bro. It's easy for me to get muscles.
I think the idea is more so that a lot of women walk around as though they don't need men, that they are a replacement for men, right? That we're equal in all ways, and that exists up until they need them for something like lifting something that's too heavy for them to lift. And I think his point was more, okay, yeah, like inequality and not when it's convenient. I think that was more the idea. Like, I don't exist to you. To the point where it's almost that you think that you can replace me. Like, I'm not even necessary on the earth. But when you see a heavy box, you automatically assume that because I'm a man, I'm supposed to lift it for you. So sexism can't exist when it's against you, but you can use it against me for your benefit. That's what I got from it.
Agreed. That's how I heard it. Any kind of hitting of women, I don't really condone. I'm not really that kind of guy, but I think it's just nowadays it's a little harder, or the message gets a little like confusing now. Not really even confusing. It's just more, men are more willing to be less polite to women now because of the rhetoric that's being thrown by women.
And the propaganda is being pushed on TV. Man, one day we need to just sit down and you edit, and I will go and point out all the psychology that's in it. I'm telling you, man, they are listen, it's subtle. Some of it, for instance, The Rookie. There's a scene where in the last few, not just The Rookie, but the last 4 movies I watched, the black woman was mean as shit, fucking single, and was focused on a career, not married. But the white woman in the movie is married or happy, balanced work home life, right? Then you got the other black woman in the movie, her co-star. She got a mixed kid with a white dude, right? And the black dude had to apologize when he made a pass at her. It was offensive. But then when the white dude made a pass at her, it was receptive. Man, you gotta watch this type of fucking programming. That's programming. This shit do not exist on that higher scale outside in the real fucking world. You don't see that shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why are you trying to make, when you see commercials, you're either gonna see a homosexual couple, a lesbian couple, or a white man with a black woman. But what you won't see is a fucking black man, black woman, a fucking black child. You won't see that. You don't see it hardly in the movies no damn more. In every movie, whether it's produced in Netflix original, Hulu, or any of them, has to have at least one homosexual scene and a homosexual in it by contract. And I'm certain of that because you can't find a Netflix original that does not have that. Now, when you find it, you fucking let me know. Because it's not there. Why do you think that is? This is where you get your fucking ideas from. You are most influenced by fucking media. As a child, you learn through your eyes and through your ears that shit don't change. You learn through your eyes and through your ears all the way up until you die. That's how you learn. That's why if I drop your ass off in China, where in the part where don't nobody speak English, in 6 or 7 months, your black ass will be speaking Mandarin. Because you learn between your eyes and your ears. Because there's nobody there for you to translate, so you have to adapt. And you will. Just give it a while. You'll get tired of asking the same people this, and this, and before long, you'll be fluent as shit in Mandarin. So you don't think you can learn from the fucking TV? You don't think this younger generation is not putting that? The people like me, it don't affect. Because who we are is who we are. Our moral compass has been established. Our core values have been established. They don't fucking waver because of where I'm at in my developmental process. But younger generation, even you included, I'm talking about over 40. I'm not talking about under 40. I'm talking about over 40. You set, you solid. How it is how it is. You're not gonna ever get me to buy in to none of that new shit you talking. Not ever gonna happen, right? But for a new kid, it will happen. And then all these damn she called Verizon. All these damn superhero women. Where the fuck they at in real life? A woman is always talking crazy, like on the Rookie. I'm gonna go back to the Rookie. The women always save the men. And when the men try to save the women, he get killed. Oh, and by the way, the black cop was gay.
Shocker.
The black cop is gay. Look at that fucking Liberty Mutual commercial. What black man you know knit? I'll wait on that question. What black man do you know knits booties? Do you know any? I've been a black man for 47 years and I ain't never known one to fucking knit. But they got a fucking commercial with a black man sitting over there with a white dude. So it's two things. Inclusiveness, black, white come together. Get in touch with your feminine side. That's what you pushing. That is the fucking subliminal message in that. It makes no fucking sense to the commercial. Makes no sense whatsoever. This man up here, feminine and a motherfucker, on this bench knitting with a white dude, and they comparing they shit. Makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, the knitting part's a little weird.
I'm gonna question it. What the fuck? This don't make sense.
If it was crocheting, it'd be all right, but it's knitting, so it's a little
knitting, fucking knitting. And it got the dog with, look what I made for Buster. Like a whole goddamn sissy. So this is what you want little black boys to look and see, what the fuck is that? Like, it's okay for me. It's cool to knit. Nah, nigga, it ain't all right for you to knit unless you're gonna be a doctor. You want to learn how to do some certain stitches? No, nigga, we don't knit. Your shit is coming from, all the women are powerful in every movie. Every movie now. But where are they at in real life? Where are these super women cops at? Where they at?
Hey, Ron, welcome to the panel, man. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's going on, my man? Hey,
what
have you heard so far, and what would you like to chime in with?
I just basically bumped into the link.
Gotcha.
Started to click on it, and here's this gentleman going off right here, and he was dropping a few things I agree with. Okay. I think I understand the crux of what he is trying to explain. But I mean, at the core of it all, you know, a masculine and dominant version of the black man is never and was never in the best interest of America and white society. Hence why the practice of buck breaking was an important practice during, you know, slave days.
Yep.
You know, and it continues to be. I mean, you know, the castration of black men continues to be a practice in our society. And I tell people quite often.
Sorry. I was reading.
She had a moment, DeMarco. Go ahead.
I was reading Yella's comment.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, what I often tell people is that, for example, white male arrogance is perceived as confidence, while black male confidence is often perceived as arrogance, and it's not as championed. And the more docile and easygoing you are as a black man, you are considered to be, for lack of a better term, domesticated in America. So yeah, that's about as much I'm going to add right now.
Okay. He going right down the road that I'm traveling. That's exactly where I'm going with this. They want to. That's why they push that narrative on toxic masculinity. The more masculine a black man is, you're targeting us, man. And a lot of the fucking black women are falling into it. You got to understand the strength of the black man came from the sister. That's who helped us in slavery. And the fucking slave master knew, if you're gonna fucking get this dude, you gotta get that black bitch away from him. Cause as long as she fucking around and can get to him, that motherfucker ain't gonna die off like that. They ain't. They protect us. They hid us. They nourished us with their breast milk. We didn't have no fucking problems with no damn men. Black men didn't think like that, man. When last time black man come home like, bitch, what's on the goddamn stove, whore? They don't talk to our women like that, man. If she say she don't feel like cooking, I don't feel like hearing her mouth. I cook. Black boys know how to cook. They train to cook. Their mamas teach them.
True.
We didn't treat our women like that. That whole fucking feminist shit was a fucking plight. And they got, in order to push this, then you're gonna have to jump in with this. So if you want that fucking right to go to college and if you want to fucking get in on the EO, then we're gonna include women in there too. We're gonna put women in there.
Well, to be clear, to really hammer that point about feminism, black women were never invited to the feminist party initially. That feminism is really about the protection and the progression of white women. White women have always been about the protection and the movement of their interests. And it's just so funny that the Me Too movement, which was basically stripped out of the hands of a black woman, by two white women, and was, basically used as a weapon against white men the past couple of years. I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of sisters experienced, sexual violence and so on and so forth in the industry. We've heard stories and so on and so forth, but that has never really been that big of a deal. It's more so a big of a deal, when we're talking about white women. And what about that white women? I tell people all the time, man, white women are basically undefeated in this country. They get away with everything. The face of racism itself is the white man. Nobody really discusses how many, white women were slave owners, or how, they weren't complicit in slavery. They didn't look. Listen, if you leave it up to the history books, they'll make it seem like, a white woman was just knitting one day. Her husband went out for cigarettes, and he just came home with a boatload of niggas, and she was just shocked. She was just shocked. She was just like, "Oh my God, how could you? How could
for any of this?"
Exactly. Like, oh my God, I'll have nothing to do with this. Like, no, she was down with the jam from the inception. She probably told them where, if you hang a right on this area, you'll be able to get to Africa faster. She probably, was in on it from day one. We don't talk about that enough, man. And the white woman has a very, very keen understanding of how to play both sides of the fence. She'll play the liberal and democratic side while still supporting Republican, men, who have no interest in, black, politics, and making sure that they maintain, their privilege through them.
That was definitely a good spin-off, Kieran. That was definitely really good. But I will pull it back to the original question that I stated to the panel. Now we got a full panel of people. The question as is written down there: more young men should be honored to be stepfathers. More young men should be honored to be stepfathers. Thoughts? CJ,
God
let's
no.
CJ,
And you know what? I wasn't even gonna jump on. I was just gonna comment until I seen this question. No, no. Unless he is unable to physically produce his own children, young men with no children. God, no.
How young we talking?
It don't matter. 25, 30. No. If you don't got no kids, no. Start your own family. No.
So now, what do we say? Like we're talking about? Would you? I'm getting a lot of okay. Is that you, Ty?
Yeah, that's me. My bad.
All right.
It's the city, man.
So what about these women that are out here? So you're saying a lot of men are saying now, there's not a lot of marriageable women, blah, blah, blah. But now if you're finding a woman that's marriageable, but she has a kid, she comes with a child. What about all these women that actually have children? Are we saying X them out? Just hope to find a single woman that's not completely feminized crazy? Like, what are we saying? What are we actually saying?
Are you asking me my personal opinion?
I'm asking you as well as the panel. I'm sorry.
Do what you want to do, but I'm an odds guy, so I feel like the odds of you having the best chances in life, if you are a young single man, is to start your own family. Of course, every now and then you're gonna have the anomalies out there, and I'm not saying all single mothers are bad people. They're not. Not all of them have drama. Not all of them have issues. None of that. But if you are a young single man with no children of your own, start your own family.
Yeah, I mean,
anything you can find in a single, anything you can find in a single mother, you can find in a childless woman.
I think it's dependent on age and the situation. Now it's the young man. If the man is, let's roughly say you're in your 20s. Okay, let's just leave it at your 20s. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Try your best to find a woman who is childless so you can start your own family.
You said, but y'all say try your best like they're not out here. It's plenty of childless women out here.
Oh, wait 1 second. Once you hit your 30s, you have to be a little bit more understanding of what the situation is. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't look for a woman who isn't childless. What I'm saying is that be more understanding and realistic about what your situation is. I know a dude who's sitting there who's 45 talking about I'm not getting with a woman who got kids. Like, bro, you 45 years old.
Good for him.
You know what I mean? You 45 years old, and he said he wants to start a family. You know what I mean? With with a childless person. Mm-hmm. Now that's a good age. That's for him. On him. That's on him. Now, what's the probability of him finding that person? Slim to none. You know what I mean? Because most of the women that he's going to be dating have children. You know what I mean? Now,
what?
I mean, but listen, brother DeMarco is assuming that this man is gonna be, which they won't be, but a man he gonna be dating closer to his age.
That's what I'm saying.
Most men in their 40, they ain't dating that close. They dating way back this way. If he want to start a family, he better be around 31, 29, 28.
Especially if he don't have no kids of his own. What?
That'll be a damn shame. Your first child is Down syndrome by itself. No offense to people who got Down syndrome, but don't nobody want to. You don't want to fucking
emotional.
You don't want to fucking raise no vegetable child. If you say yeah, you do, you're a damn lie. You don't. That's why amniocentesis is a thing. Like, if they even suspect that it's gonna be a high risk pregnancy or the chance that one of them extra damn chromosomes gonna jump on that ass, they not gonna do it. They don't want to do that. So he ain't finna date that damn close to his age if he want to start a family. But
especially if he's well off. If he's well off, successful man, no way.
If the woman over 32, 33, if she over that age it's not a high number of women over 30 that don't have kids. It's just
Right.
it's not that number. The
essentially
number
the
of
point.
single
That's
women
essentially
without
the point
kids just dropped dramatically.
Now, if you're gonna sit there, and now if you're gonna sit in a pool of 20-year-old women, you know, what I mean,
Hell
well
yeah,
into
you
your
can find
older
them all
age,
day.
yeah, exactly. Now
But will they
you'll
fucking
never
fuck
be
with
without that. That is the point that I'm making. In you know, what I mean, now I'm assuming on average. Now, if you're a well-off man, if you got the pockets, you're gonna always be a commodity. You know, what I mean, you're always gonna have the pick of the litter if you have the means, if you're in a particular situation. But if you're a regular brother, an average dude, you have to be realistic about your situation. You have to be realistic about what's out there for you. And that's just the point I'm making.
I can agree with that. I can agree with the fact that, you know, the way the world is headed now, being the average man, like they get disrespected on the daily. So I mean, listen, if you a young man, 16, 25, 30 with no children, please do yourself a favor, start your own family.
That's gonna be best for him.
Start your own
You
family,
ain't built for
please.
that. You're not built for that. You're not really built for that climate that you're about to go into. Because already a female is far more mature than a male. That's a fact. It's not like an opinion. That is a whole fact. Now you get a fucking female that's been raising a kid. She's way fucking more mature than you. You don't understand the sacrifice you about to have to make. See, when she's pregnant, you start to learn. When a woman gets pregnant, right? I'm talking about young men. I ain't talking about no old nigga who got 2 or 3 kids already. I'm talking about a young man who ain't got. I have to think back in the days where I ran away from the shit. It was fucking scary to me. When she get pregnant, that's when you start learning how to share. That's when you start learning how to nurture somebody else. Because you nurture her. You rub on her belly. You hear her complaints. You go get shit for her. You have to do things. And later on in the pregnancy, your role increases. And then the baby comes. And then by the time the baby gets here, so like with her being pregnant is a man's form of nesting. Your girl being pregnant is like a man's form of nesting. You're learning how to receive that child by taking care of her. And then once the baby gets here, you have a little bit more understanding and patience to deal with the baby. And I'm talking about average. I'm not talking about these fucking couple hundred niggas y'all know who hated the fucking baby when it got here or just did not want to fucking participate. I'm talking about normal niggas who understand you know.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And you actually a compassionate nigga. You feel me? You're a regular dude. One beating shit when you was a kid or no shit like that upside the head and something wrong with you. I ain't talking about that dude. I'm talking about a regular old dude, right? But when the baby get here, you already about ready. But you imagine being a 20-something nigga, you just was in the club, fucking dropping it like it's motherfucking hot, trying to pick up women whoever a year ago. You think you finna put them fucking kind of brakes you got to put on to help this woman? Shit. The extra hours you fixing to have to do to take care of a child that ain't got shit to do with you, knowing that if you break up with her, you don't have to pay no shit, no child support, no nothing. Like this, and then
that depends on the state, bro.
The daddy in their life, the dad coming to pick the kids up every weekend. Oh, it seemed cool at first when the timing is just right. Like y'all, you spend the night over there, and you came that Friday. Then the kids left that Saturday. You saw this shit is cool. I can get used to this. Goddamn kids won't be back just a long weekend till Monday at 2:00. You loving it. But then what about that weekend your black ass come over there and little Johnny's sick? And he ain't going no goddamn well. And she ain't neither. And you gotta sit up there and listen to him whine, cry, stay up on his mama, you ain't getting no ass. None of that. Can you handle that? You want your homeboys coming? Hey, yo, henpeck ass nigga, you coming out? No, I have a responsibility now. And man, that goddamn baby ain't even yours, nigga. I can't believe you. This shit gonna fuck with you too. Nigga, you up here henpeck, you putting us to the side. Goddamn baby ain't even yours, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. You better get on out here, Shanisha. Get him on the phone.
Hey, but can I say this real quick? Shout out to Sierra and Russell, because she, compared to Jada, she making look like a stepdaddy being fly. Real talk. Compared to them, I mean, I will have to, I got to put some respect on her name because, you know, from what I see, from what the public sees, you know, she don't disrespect him. She done upgraded his swag and his stock. You dig what I'm saying? So in regards to that, shout out to them.
Well, that's because there's a genuine respect, and you can see that it's a mutual, general respect. That is the reason why that situation functions in the manner that it functions. Cat be sitting there, you know, clowning Russell and so on and so forth, calling him a simp and all this whatever. Look, man, this brother over here minding his business, got a ton of money, he taking care of his family, man.
And
you know, I mean, one of the things that brothers need to stop doing. Exactly, like one of the things. One of the things that these brothers need to stop doing, man, is sitting there and, you know, commenting on how another man moves. Like, when did we start doing that as men? Worry about you, man. Especially if your situation ain't where it needs to be. Now, you can have a comment, you can have an opinion, but if a man is sitting there minding his own business and taking care of his family and so on and so forth, and yeah, those kids might not be him, that might not be his, that's his business, man. I got my own problems, man. You know what I mean? I got my own situation. I got my own things going on. So I'm not going to sit there, you know, I commend that brother. He made a decision. He did what he needed to do. And yeah, guess what? His future son is calling him daddy, rightfully so, because you ain't do what you needed to do. You didn't do what you needed to do, and it is what it is, man.
And stop.
Yeah, that's why other dudes want to do it and let it be them. Let them do it. But if you asking me what I recommend it for a man with no children, a young man with no children, then no. But are there exceptions to where it could be a positive situation? Sure. Some people are born with 6 toes. I mean, it happens. So that's just the situation. Anything could happen. I mean, the world was shut down for 2 years. So, I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, I guess my thing is I don't want people to feel like that's the norm because, well, not the norm, because it is the norm now, being a stepdad, or at least the glorification of being a stepdad and all that kind of stuff.
Stepdad is not at all right.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
I think it's glorified. Have you seen Teen Mom and Juno and all these other movies that glorify it?
There's not a single man that wants to step into a stepfather situation, a stepdad. And which is crazy though, because I've met a lot of people, like before this panel, I'm having different conversations with people. And I've met a lot of people that have a great life and they talk very highly about the stepfather that stepped in and raised them and helped out their life and XYZ, da-da-da. And I'm just like, wow, like stepdads are super important, but I can never be that guy. I can never be that strong. No, I mean, what do you guys
hard,
strong?
But you gotta have some years on you, bro. It's gonna be. Listen, would it be hard for an old nigga? Not that hard, depending on his experience. But young nigga, it's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Let you try to discipline that child in most cases.
Yes. I don't think a man should be thinking about a family if he's in his 20s. I don't think you should be even thinking.
Because you ain't ready. You can't take care of a family.
No, you're not. You're not where you need to be economically. You're not where you need to be emotionally. You're just not where you need to be. You probably just came out of your mother's house. You know what I mean? Already. You need to experience the world. You need to understand what it means to be a man and what it really means to really be 10 toes down and finding your purpose in life. You don't need to be jumping in no family, man.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, the first time you try to discipline that child and y'all don't have an agreement, especially if it's a daughter, because I'm thinking about me, if I had a child and the mother of my child had a dude and married or whatever, don't put your hands on my child. But that's just how I would be, especially if I had a daughter. I don't got time for them kind of games. But then if you the dude that's the stepdaddy, depending on the kind of relationship she got with her baby daddy, and it's just too many variables to me. It's way too many variables, especially if you don't have to deal with it. If you not a dude that when you got hella options and you just choosing to be a stepfather, no, absolutely not. Now, if you
hold on, I wanna get Unique's point of view real quick because she did have a stepfather for 8 years from 8 years old.
Since I was 8 years old.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so what's your point of view on that? Should men be apprehensive to being stepfathers from your point of view?
Definitely.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I thought we all thought we was gonna hear a beautiful story about redemption.
No, I'm saying I do have a beautiful story.
I do too. I got a
I
stepdad.
do have a
Shit, I got a stepdad. I'm telling you,
wonderful.
do it.
Yeah, I have a wonderful stepdad, and I gave him hell up until after 20 years old. He been my life 8.
Hell.
So you know what I'm saying? I gave him for a long time. I take a special person, a special personality in order for you to be a good stepdad. And I have the other side of it where I'm a stepmom. And the only difference is that I live with my stepdad, and his children didn't necessarily live with us. So that's the big difference in me being a stepmom, is that only was that when she came to stay with us, or when they came to stay with us. So as far as my stepfather, he was the most patient. He is very traditional when it comes to not all of the roles. Like I said before, my mother helps him a lot when it comes to things that he has to do, things that come as mental. My mother has to help him a lot. He's dyslexic. So, and they took care of him because he was the youngest boy out of like 10 brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So they baby him. His actual nickname is Baby Suge. You know what I'm saying? So
ain't no baby.
He ain't no baby now. What you saying? They always treated with kid gloves. So that's something that my stepfather is very hard on, to where I really couldn't stay out late at night because my mother, agreed with him and that stuff. I couldn't be at other people's houses. You know what I'm saying? The only person I can go house is my cousin. Can't even say family, because she didn't even let me stay at a whole bunch of family houses. So, and it's because of his experiences probably, and her experiences is why they did that. But he was very traditional and strict in the sense that my mother gave him all respect in the public eye. And nobody ever knew that my mother was really the person who ran that relationship behind closed doors. So that's why I said it takes a special person, because I gave him hell, and then my mother basically runs the relationship on the back end, on the quiet side that nobody would ever know. Only now, because I'm telling y'all.
Giving away her trade secrets.
Go ahead, ask a question.
Can I ask a question?
Yes. Sorry.
Was he allowed to discipline you?
No.
He wasn't allowed to discipline you?
No, because my father was in my life. Even though I had a stepdad, my dad was in my life. So, one time I remember a specific instance, and it wasn't even a discipline instance. I can tell you about that when I got older. Then that was me torturing him about a discipline instance. But my dad torturing him, he bought me an ice cream from the ice cream thing, because I was like, I want ice cream. And then my dad came to visit me and was like, where you get that ice cream from? I was like, Sugar gave it to me, because we still call him Sugar. My mother told me, and he told me it was okay to call him Sugar. So I said, Sugar gave it to me. He knocked that junk right out my hand and went to my stepfather and was like, I can buy my daughter whatever she wants. You don't need to. So that's why I said no. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now you see something right there, man.
Dad did that.
If I might say something, man, are you finished?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I believe to say something though, I believe I did have a stepfather around. I was older though. I was like 17 at the time. But I mean, what could he possibly tell me at 17? You know what I mean? So I mean, he was cool. You know what I mean? For the time, for what it was, he was cool dude. You know what I mean? We didn't really have any friction or anything like that. It was what it was. But those kinds of scenarios are definitely things that I do think about, and I do think what deters a lot of men from wanting to become stepfathers, because you could be respectful, you could be giving your resources to the family, you could be upstanding, you could be all those things, and in your case, the child, you know what I mean, the child might be, you know what I mean, out of pocket, and you know what I mean, the child's father might still be in the picture, and there's a confrontation between between the child's father and you, and that's unfair to the brother who's actually, he's actually putting in the work and putting in the role as father. I think that what the problem is that, see, in those kinds of scenarios, what's happening and what's being misconstrued is that the stepfather is trying to replace somebody. And I don't think, the stepfather is necessarily trying to replace somebody in those kinds of scenarios. Now, if the father isn't around, still in some case, I don't think he's trying to replace somebody. He's just basically trying to play his role and do what needs to be done. But it's a very sticky situation, to play those kind of cards. And I can see why a lot of brothers are like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One thing I agree with Kevin Samuels on, and this is recent. I think I've met my first, what you guys would call a simp. I think it's happened. What? He's literally said that, like, this was a woman that he lost, and he finally got her back, and he'll never let her go. And she is.
How many kids she got? How many kids she got? Oh,
one of them. So they have two separate kids. So one was before them. So he had one, she had one.
But how old is he? And how old is she, if I may ask?
Maybe he's above, somewhere between 34 and 36, like somewhere in there. Okay, I don't know how old she is. I don't think I've ever really met her, to be honest. Thank God. But okay. One thing that Kevin Samuels said that took me a while to agree with is when he would talk to single mothers on his show, he would ask them, can your husband spank your kids? And I was just like, why would you ask somebody that question? It's just so odd. And a lot of them would say no. And he's like, no, you don't need to be married. You need to wait till your kids are grown before you start dating again. And the reason for that is, if you can't, that's a good sign that you're going to have a lot of disagreements in the future. I'm not saying that you should be hitting other people's kids. It's not where I'm going with this, but that's a sign that you will not be the disciplinarian in that family, and that you probably won't have the respect that you deserve. And I'm seeing this now where this particular mother, she chooses her kid over her husband. Not only she chooses her kid over her current husband, she chooses the kid's father over her husband. Like, she left the state, left him in a different state to go be closer to, it's all over the place. And one thing that I hear about successful marriages where the man ends up becoming a stepfather, what makes it successful is that the mother tells her children that you're going to respect this man because he's the one here, he's providing for us, he's protecting you, he's a respectable man, right? And those end up being very successful relationships where they're both in their gender roles and the kids respect him and they listen to him as their disciplinarian. Their fathers are still there. My dad's a perfect example of this. Well, sort of. He was very young, but he took on 4 kids that weren't his, and all my siblings respected him.
4 children.
Yeah. But I think if you're going to do this, if you're going to be a man and you decide to date a single mother, you need to ask her that question. Can I discipline your children? Will they follow my rules? Will they follow, can I set their bedtime? Can I take their phone at night when they shouldn't be on it? Can I set the rules in this house and your child's also going to follow it? And you're going to choose my rules over the dad's rules if this child's in my house. And if she says no, or she can't answer it, that may not be the woman for you.
The fact that you got to ask that, though, that's the problem. that you even have to ask that if I'm investing my time, my life into you and your kids, and I gotta ask what I can do in my house. That's crazy.
That's fair.
That don't even make sense. Like on no level. Can I spank your kid in my house, even though my resources is going into feeding him? Can I punish him? That don't even sound right. Like, it's a raw deal. It can work out, but my stepdad, like, listen, man, my stepdad, cool, love him to death, but my dad gave him hell the first couple years. And I wouldn't have blamed him if he didn't want to sign up for that shit. Gave him hell. My dad a great man, a former street dude, but biomed engineer, all that stuff. But he was loco, crazy for real. Why would any man who don't have to take that on? You know what I'm saying? So like, no.
John, go for it.
If you're gonna date a woman with kids, right? If you're a young man, don't do it. But if you're a little bit older or whatnot, and maybe you don't want no kids, I don't know what your situation is. You have got to find out. I'm just going to tell you because I've been a stepdad, right? If the man is in her life, it is her kids, him, then you. I don't give a fuck what her mouth say. I don't care what come out her mouth. A lot of women, he's gonna come before, and I'll give you a perfect example. You will hear I want to go to Cabo. Take the family to Cabo. Well, they daddy said that they can't go. That's the end of it. So what happened? Did she pull rank on him? Did she say, I will take my kids? Now, if he any kind of nigga, he be like, bitch, you won't take the motherfucking kids no goddamn way. You take your ass to jail. So where you gonna take? I said they ain't going. That's what the fuck I mean. I know my fucking right. Now try me. All right, then. You make me sick, you bastard. That's the only thing she can say. Because he can have her ass arrested for taking him across some damn lines if he don't agree with it. That's another problem. You get a job, 140. I had a job offer at American Express in New York from when I worked at American Express in Huntsville, right? $115,000 a year, junior marketing exec. They was gonna put me in corporate housing for the first 3 years, this and the third. That's big in New York. Corporate housing is you don't pay no rent. Only thing you pay is a phone bill, right? Your phone bill, and you got a corporate telephone anyway. But anyway, that's besides the point. I couldn't go because my girl at the time, daughter's dad said no. She couldn't go because I wouldn't be able to see her. I even told him, look, we'll fly her down here to see you. You feel me? He was like, nah, why don't you? She just need to let her come live with me. Right? The first argument her and him was talking. And I mean, and she said, well, we talking about something about her. It really got nothing. And I snapped on both of them. I said, let me tell you something, and let me tell you something. There ain't a goddamn thing that y'all talk about with your child living in my house that I'm not going to be a part of. Let's just get that out in the clear right now. Sure. Now, so if you ain't built like that, if you're not confrontational, I'm very confrontational. And I will stand up for myself, and I will put my damn foot down when I have to, because you're not going to disrespect me at all. I'm taking care of everything. Like, yo, your baby mama don't even fucking work, nigga. What the fuck you mean this y'all conversation? She can't feed this goddamn child. I feed this goddamn child. I clothe this damn child. That little fucking Rudy Poot ass money you send don't do shit. Nigga, you pay $245 a fucking month. It don't do nothing. It can't even buy a whole set of school clothes.
Let me ask you a question. So now, what about the mother made you think that, you know what, this is a situation I can step in and I'm willing to be a stepfather because she has
my child?
Oh, so she had your...
Yeah, you damn right. That was it, nigga.
Outside of that, she had that child before you stepped in the situation, I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course.
So what made you still say I'm going to deal with this woman?
I mean, because like I'm telling you, like I had to deal. Well, you mean like deal with her in general, period.
In general, period.
Because like at first the nigga wasn't coming around. But then when he started coming around, that's when they thought they would. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a fucking hierarchy. And it's cool that there's it's not that bad as a hierarchy. It's not cool, but you gotta put yourself and reestablish the fucking hierarchy. That's what the point I'm trying to get at. You gotta reestablish the hierarchy.
So okay, I guess what I'm trying to ask is why go into a situation like that where you have to suddenly reestablish a hierarchy as opposed to just choose a woman where there is no hierarchy and you are the standard?
Well, yeah, I mean
that's what I'm asking. Like what made her as a woman so made you willing to step into the stepfather role?
She was
her mouth. Keep it real, John. Keep it real. It was her mouth.
Fine little motherfucker, bro.
There you go. There you go.
That motherfucker was so goddamn fine, bro. I'm talking about
there you go.
White men.
You can't handle the truth.
Man, goddamn, just be like, I'm talking
Hey,
about.
we all been guilty of it, brother.
Music all fine.
Hey, I'll tell you one positive to dating a stepmom, well, to dating a woman with a child. You know, she's a woman. Like for real.
A woman.
In 2022. Hey, listen, women with children, they up. Shout out to Will and Jada. Women with and Sierra. Women with children, they up. We can prove that they real women. And shout out to all y'all, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, but we can prove that these are 100% period having, and not all, naturally born women can have periods, but these are ovary carrying women. So shout out to the women with children. We appreciate, well, at least I do. Shout
out to the women.
Quick thing I want to actually throw out there. I'll give you guys a scenario that I know from a dude. I'll call him an acquaintance, and he was a stepfather, and his situation was absolutely disastrous. But his situation was disastrous because, well, he's not a confrontational person. He's by all means, one would say, a pacifist in many ways.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, this woman did one thing to him, and I looked at him, and I said nothing. I did say something. I said, man, you're a damn fool. But anyway, he allowed this woman to. Her son was about 21 years old. Now, mind you, this is his house. This woman is living in it. And, she got one of her kids in there already. And she said, like, yeah, I'm bringing my son in here. No, he's like, huh? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to bring my son in here. The son is 21 years old. 21 years old.
In my house with me.
And he let that 21-year-old man come in there in the house. And he, out of his mouth, said that child behaved like the alpha male in the house. I said,
because he ain't no child. That's a fucking man.
I said, bruh, you
he ran him out of his own shit.
First of all, couldn't have been me because I wouldn't allow it to happen. And even if it did, I'd have told that he got 1 week to find a job. If not, I'm calling the police and he getting escorted out of here. You know what I mean? That's 1 week.
Can I ask a question to y'all?
What's up?
Because I know some of y'all got children, some of y'all don't. So maybe I'm missing something. If you, to the people with children, and to the people without too as well, if you had a son, right, and your son was extremely successful with no children, he's 30 years old, would you want your child, in the ideal situation, to date a woman with a child? And why would you want that if that is true in the ideal situation?
I know I wouldn't. I can't speak for nobody else. I wouldn't.
So you want us to argue a point if he is to what would be the reason why? Is that
right? Because I'm sitting here trying to logically figure out.
You can't figure it out.
I'm trying to figure out the benefit of somebody who who has
if this
everything going for him.
If it's a well-behaved child with potential to gain some level of scholarships in academics, athletics, anything like that could bring me success, then yes.
Keep it above.
I will say this.
That's being a user. That's
being
a
a user.
His mama doing the same goddamn thing. She'll take every one of them
the
goddamn
benefit that communicated to my brain was practice.
But you're using him for his resource. Like what? See, this is what I'm talking about.
That was the only
can I make
that's
a little bit of a
benefit.
point here? Can I make a little bit of a point here? What I've seen, what I've observed, and what I can attest to has happened to me. I notice, and this has happened to me when it comes to women. The more beautiful the woman, the more she states that she doesn't want to date men with children.
I'm trying to tell you.
I've dated a lot of beautiful women in my life, and a lot of them said that I don't know if this is going to work out with you and I because you have a child. We'll see what happens. Now, when I often see when women have options, they choose not to be a stepmother if they do not have to be.
That's a whole fact. That's a whole fact.
When it comes to men, it's expected that we be more lenient and understanding of the situation. You know what I mean? You know, even if the man has a massive, well, we can say an above average amount of resources. You know what I mean? Like I've seen women who have 3, 4, 5 kids who say that they want a man with no children who's bringing in a 6-figure income. And that is completely unrealistic. Like no man who is that well put together and bringing a 6-figure income, on average, is not going to, choose to put himself in that kind of situation. I think that there is a double standard involved here, where men are expected to be a lot more lenient and a lot more understanding when there's a child involved, as opposed to when the roles are reversed.
I mean, a man.
I 100% agree with you on that. 100%.
A man is more likely to accept a woman with a child versus the other way around. Women, I mean, if a woman, I got castigating on here once before when I said this, I'm gonna say it again. A woman is more likely to be jealous of their child than the other way around with the man. Like, period. A woman is, if you got a child and she young in a fruit-bearing age, she will give you a baby within a year. Whether y'all talk about it or not. Within a year, she's gonna get pregnant because she gonna either resent that fucking child or you fixing to have to give her a baby so she can feel complete with you and your child. She's not fixing to stick around like that. And I don't give a fuck about no fucking anomaly. I'm telling you what I've seen on average, because normally it's a woman that give me these anomalies and y'all ain't dated no motherfucking women.
So say some, but no, like some, but not everybody. I don't
never say everybody. I'll always say some because I have a very strong understanding for statistics and how it works. But
I wanted to be a stepmom. Like I wish that, he actually was in charge.
But you was older. I'm talking about young women in their childbearing years. Like
I was 20 something when I met my
and
husband.
You wanted to be a damn sister. You wanted to be a stepmother.
Yes.
Okay, you're an anomaly.
It
doesn't matter what you say.
You're an anomaly. I was past 25, but
Did you have kids of your own?
No.
So what made you did you not want kids of your own?
I very much did.
Do you have children of your own?
We didn't have 10 years. We didn't have kids till 10 years after we was together.
So what was it about it that made you want to be a stepmom?
I guess from young, I've always wanted to be married and be a mother.
She was a fucking only child.
And I'm an only child.
Why not have your own first? I'm just asking because I'm
No,
curious.
I wanted to have my own. We tried for years. We eventually did in vitro, and that's why he's struggling now at 50 years old with these 2 little kids.
So you wanted to have children, not necessarily be a stepmom. You wanted to be a mom.
Period.
Yeah, I wanted to be a mom, and if it had to be a stepmom, then that's fine with me.
But that's different. That's totally different. You made it sound like you intentionally went out to seek a man with a child to intentionally become a stepmom.
I mean,
You
it
wanted
didn't
to be
matter
a
me
mother.
whether you had children or not.
Yeah,
that
you wanted
wasn't
to
a factor in me dating you.
Here, I'll say, think of it like, look at it from this perspective right here, right? Like you got, so boy meets girl, right? And she made whatever reason this nigga's hitting on most of the cylinders that she liked. She liked this motherfucker. And they go on the 3rd date, 4th date, 5th date. Okay, they're a thing. But they ain't really said they was a thing yet. But now it's time for us on this 6th, 7th date to have this conversation where, hey, you know, I want to take it to the next level, but I gotta, you know, I do have a child. Is there gonna be a problem for you? She like him so much, she gonna say no, it's not gonna be a problem because he gonna catch on an emotional high. They on the fucking date already. She feeling him already, but now when that child come around, it's 2 things that's gonna make this woman react: the baby mama and the child itself. The baby mama and I ain't talking about them having shit to do with each other. The fact that she can see with her eyes a woman you done been up in is a goddamn problem. For a lot of women, it's a problem. That this woman at one point loved you and y'all reproduced together some shit that she get to thinking about that shit. This is what you gave her, baby. You ain't give me no fucking baby yet. Eventually, she gonna think like that. She may not fucking verbalize it. Some women will. Some women, if you ain't damn like, you know, nothing up in her, no shit like this, she'll ask you nicely. So why we still using a condom? I mean, we've been together for a year. Well, I figured you didn't want. What make you gave her, baby? There you go. That's your red flag right there. That's letting you know that the baby mama tree in her ass.
That he didn't want any more children.
You better not say that shit.
I
can say that. You just. I mean, you feel talking about your situation.
What we was doing, like, because we have been together for 10 years. Like I said, he happy because he's still paying child support. Yeah, I'm still carrying the load because he is. Yeah, but he was like, Yannick, you just don't know, and he was right. He was right. Like I completely said to my husband, like, I really didn't know what you were saying when you said it.
Wow.
Like I really did not believe you. I thought that you were just saying that because you ain't want no more children and you just was, you know, but I feel you. We should, not to say I don't love my children, but because of our finances at this time, because of how old I am at this time, I really see now that I maybe shouldn't have. I shouldn't.
So it was the emotions that got in the way of a logical decision.
Yes.
And it's gonna be the same emotion.
And I wore him down after 10 years.
And it's the same emotion.
That sounds terrible.
That make a woman want to have a baby when your ass got a fucking baby. Period.
Wow. Because they'll never be number
always
one.
wanted to be a mom since I was little. Like, you know how you pretend to take care of the babies and the dolls, and you know you stand there with another person and pretend to get married. I did that like well until I was old. Like
a lot of little girls do that.
No, I mean I did it older. Like when girls were probably just not doing that anymore.
You were still doing it.
I was still doing that.
So you was the motherfucker with the tea set at 25. That was you.
I had to throw all my stuff away. My mother had to throw a lot of my stuff away.
You was the motherfucker with the lollipop ring and shit, talking about some
the teddy bears, everything. Like the dolls. I still had them. When I was in college, my bed was still full of dolls, still full of
So can I ask you a question? If you met her, your husband said he didn't want kids, why would you keep pushing it? If he met you, that's what he said.
You know why.
No, I don't know why.
I just told you why. Tell him, Nate.
Because to me, that sounds like that would build resentment.
Oh boy.
That sounds like that would build resentment. If I tell a woman, and see, that's the thing, a lot of women don't listen to us If I'm telling you I don't want something, and it's not at you, but I'm just saying, like, in general, if I'm telling you this is what I want, but see, so many girls get caught up. Oh, this will change his life. This will change his mind. What you talking about? Like, why would you push that on a man who clearly said he don't want no more children? Not you, but in general. In general. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear that a lot.
I was like, in all your children's lives, by the time they were 3, you were out of the house. You never really got a chance to raise a child from birth all the way up. This is your chance.
But that's not what he wanted. That's what you wanted.
Eventually he did. Obviously,
no.
That convinced him to do it. He even thanked me after my son. It was my daughter that turned him into resentment.
Man, that's
manipulation. That's called manipulation.
Listen. After I had my son, he said those words to me. Thank you for giving me another chance. Because that was the words that I used. That you get a chance to now be with your son from birth to 18 or whatever, or 20. Because I'm not going anywhere.
So you convinced him with words to give him what you ultimately wanted, even though he originally didn't want that.
But he probably did somewhere inside because he said thank you.
Oh, this is what Kevin said we talk about.
Thank you. He said thank you for my son.
The answer is yes.
Being able to raise him. He thanked me. Now,
wow. F what you want. It's about what I want. You'll thank me later.
Say yes.
You'll thank me.
Yeah, I was
so
wow.
Nigga, I told you I've been one kid since I was a fucking baby, and you gonna give me some motherfucking kids. Period.
No, but listen. I didn't mean like Brookie was okay. I shouldn't say this on here. So Brookie, my daughter came out of nowhere because I could never get pregnant without medication and without assistance. We have been together for 10 years. He's been laying in there for 10 years. Nothing ever happened. You know what I'm saying? So, when after we had my son, we did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We did the same thing and nothing happened. But my son was about to turn 2, like a couple months before he was about to turn 2. I found out I was pregnant.
Hey.
The first thing he said was, "Are you trying to give me a heart attack?" He was mad. Like mad.
Big mad.
Because what he did was compromise to your desires, but it still wasn't really what he wanted.
He was like, I promised you
he was real
one.
There you go.
And that was it.
Right. But
don't matter. It's about what the woman wants. Don't matter. F what you want. It's what I want. I got the vagina here, not you.
Didn't I tell y'all the women run my family?
Man, women run the world, bro. They just gotta stop trying to be so
my family run the family.
That's a shame. That is a shame. Shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson. Beta.
It's okay if I answer the question.
Oh, the question I had asked.
So, hopefully this example makes sense. I couldn't define it, but I'm gonna give you an example and see if it makes sense. So, a stepdad. So, typically, if the mom has kids, she keeps her kids, right? So he has a house. It's her and the child moving in, typically, right? So that scenario, if someone breaks into the house, he's expected. Let's say he has to use himself as a shield, right? Sacrifice himself for the wife. He's expected to also do it for the child, right? He can't push that child and be like, no, you're not mine. Fend for yourself, right? So in that case, since that's the expectation in that house, since you expect to be the protector and the provider of that house, but you don't think that your son should live by his rules, I think that's disrespect, especially if he's a respectable man, right? Yep. So let's say an example that I know of is the man was saying that none of the kids that were old enough to have phones could have their phones after a certain time. But the wife was saying, no, you can't take away my son's phone because before I married you, he could have his phone. And his dad lets him have his phone, right? And the dad was like, you can't take away my son's phone. And that decision completely trumps his, right? You can't tell my son what to do. You can't run his life. And I think that's disrespectful because you chose to marry him. Yeah, so I think do what you want to do, but if you're in a relationship with a woman that has kids, ask that question If she doesn't want you to discipline her child, move on. Move on.
Yeah, because if your nigga rules still applying, then you need to be with that nigga. Period.
I don't know.
That's
you
why,
expect him to
this
die
is
for
why
your
I
child.
said- this right here is why I said about the fucking my five motherfucking areas.
Oh Lord.
And this is the most important one right here, them goddamn kids. Them fucking kids, bro. You gotta, even when y'all ain't got kids at all, y'all gotta agree on how them fucking kids should be raised.
Yeah. If you
Because
expect him
the
to
mother
die
will try to trump you every fucking time.
No, but I want to answer Ebony back about disrespect, because I know that I gave him a hard time, but I don't never feel like I disrespected him. But when
It's
you
not from
put it
you. Can I cut you off there? I don't mean to like interrupt the story, but it's not from you. It's from your mom. So your mom should have been telling you, hey, he's never hurt you. He's protecting us, right? There's concrete reasons for why he's here and why I married him. He's doing this for your safety. You need to respect him. And when he tells you to be home by 10, it's for a reason. Be home by 10. That respect is on your mother, because she's supposed to be following him because she chose to bring him into the house as the head of the house, as the leader, as the man. So she's not telling you as the next person behind her, which is her children, to also get in line and follow that man. It's on her.
No, she did tell me that at one point when I got a little bit older. I guess when I was young, you know, I never disrespected him in the way like cursing at him and stuff like that. But I did say some passive aggressive slick stuff like you ain't my dad. I've never, like, if he tried to tell me to do something and I didn't want to do it, I just, you know, my mother wasn't around, I'd be like, you ain't my dad, and I just go do what I want. But she did come to me and eventually, you know, and told me those things, the things that you just said. And I think the reason why my stepfather didn't do anything back to my dad is because my stepfather is a world-renowned karate person. So
jiu-jitsu.
Even though my father is way taller than him, and my stepdad is a little bit shorter, but he, you know, cocky or whatever. My stepdad knew that he could beat him, so it was like, whatever. You know, I'll just give her the ice cream when I know he ain't coming around. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't matter to him. He brushed that off because it's like he know he could beat him. So why do that in front of me? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it takes a special person. It takes a special person to put aside sometimes your egos in situations like that when it comes to somebody else's child. So not to say that it wasn't wrong, because I know how value nurse sitting there like, what? But it was wrong, you know, to do that. But it's just that sometimes in life, stuff ain't gonna always go your way and stuff ain't gonna always be fair. And sometimes people come into your life to show you some things about you that you need to understand. And that's how I feel my mother came into my stepfather's life, my stepfather came into my mother's life. So yeah, because I mean, they wouldn't still be together if she totally, you know, was like, if he didn't want to be there. Like if he didn't want to be there and he didn't want to be in the type of lifestyle that he is now, because he is living it up. You know what I'm saying? My mother pays most of the bills, even though she retired. So, you know what I'm saying? He's in Florida. He get to go run whenever he want. He get to go travel wherever he want. You know, he's living his passion. That's all he does.
Real quick. I want to get Tack. Tack hasn't been here for.
Oh yeah, Tack.
Yeah, you know what I've been having all kind of technical issues. I'm in Baltimore City downtown at the harbor. And,
you in my town, Tack.
Yeah, we ate at Moe's. We had dinner at Moe's.
Oh,
and that
Moe's
shrimp
people.
was dope.
Okay.
It was off the chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
Moe's is good.
I've been a stepdad twice, right? And yeah, once with a boy and once with a girl. I'm still a stepdad to the girl, even though the relationship ended many years ago, because I was like the active male in her life. Now, was the father living right in the same city, right? And like her mom was one of those, not soccer moms, they did the calisthenics, the flips, where they contort their body and all that. That's what her mom was. And so she used to invite her dad because she loved the hell out of her dad, you know. And he wouldn't show up. And I would tell her, you know what, the boss probably changed his schedule, right? Like, yeah, this, that, and that. And then sometimes the grandmother and them, eventually they would just tell her, you know, he's not dependable, you know, this doesn't make any sense. You're disappointed because it was other things happening. And to know that your father in the same city and he can't make it, and everybody else in the family know that nothing's physically wrong with them, right? So people get frustrated, right? And but I was always making excuses for him, even though he hated me, right? I remember we had a party for her somewhere, and I paid for the hall and everything. And he came out there to the party and called them up out in the hallway and was fussing at her about, you know, why you got this man giving the party, this, that, and that. And then she was like, well, all right, here go the receipt. It's for $570. Give me $570, then you gave the party. He had like 63 fucking dollars in his pocket. You feel me? See, a lot of times, man, and I'm gonna just say this, right? If we gonna keep it 300, fuck 100, all right? A lot of times these niggas know their rights and they know morality and ethics. And these niggas ain't bought their own kids a fucking pair of socks in 10 years. You understand what I'm saying? So when they show up with all this principality and it's immoral, I can't have that. All right, that's cool. But you ain't been around when she had pneumonia, when she needed clothes, when certain things happened and all that. But you gonna tell me about principles and baseline foundational stuff. That shit sounds slick when you talking to a bunch of either ignorant people or younger people who ain't lived. See, younger people who ain't lived, you can persuade them to all that because they ain't lived long enough. See, that's why it's hard for those other guys that was on here earlier. They so flippant and it's so arrogant and it's almost like they making a remix to the James Brown song, The Big Payback. They gonna get everybody back that bullied them and walked past them in grade school and shit, right? But in real life shit, it don't work like that. See, life is different, man. Like I keep telling y'all, I only went to the 7th grade. And that's why when people sitting around here and they talk about education, they talk about life, stepdad, this, stepdad, a lot of people have the luxury, and I hope maybe that's never gonna be your situation. Other people don't, right? So this little girl started calling me dad at the time. And I had to correct it because I told her, me and your mother not engaged and we not even get ready to get married. So I'm not going to let you call me dad. Now, the reason why I had to check her was because the grandmother and the mother didn't check her the first few times she was doing it. So I had to check and I had to be the bad guy. Why did I have to be the bad guy? I wasn't going to marry your mother. And I'm not going to let her call me dad and call the next nigga dad and the next nigga dad. See, I'm not on that, man. You know what I mean? So what happened was, now my father's dead. This motherfucker got killed, right? Unfortunately. And I'm the only man that had influence, what was in her life, and the relationship was over. So when they buried her dad, and he ain't had no insurance, niggas running around here wearing all these $600 jeans and $3,000 shirts and $500 sneakers, and they hate gay people, and there's a gay motherfucker making that shit you dying and killing people to wear. But anyway, he ain't had no insurance. So after that, I went on and had a conversation with the family, and I was like, look, I could be in her life even though me and her mom not together. You know what I mean? And because our relationship was good like that. And then that's just what it's been since then, you know. You know, that's just what it's been. When she got her first job, she called me telling me about the interview, talk what you think about this and this, that, and that, and you know, all of that. And I help her out when she needed or whatever like that. So I'm just saying, It's cool. And I did it with somebody early on, and they had a son. And that dude, man, he used to always tell me, I'm not your father. I'm not your father. I mean, you're not my father. You're not my father, right? But I expected that out of him because your father not around. So half of that was probably just hurt. You know what I mean? Or whatever it was. I expected that, right? But he used to hit me with that. I didn't care because and his father was living too. His father was living too, man. All I'm saying is everybody that's talking tonight is probably right and wrong. It's two sides to it, man. But I'm gonna tell you something, man, what life teach you. I don't care how committed and defiant and how much you think you know, keep the fuck living. And watch life smooth all that motherfucking confidence and arrogance right the fuck out. Keep living. I don't care what reports you look up. I don't care what study you done. Keep living and watch how that shit run. And then later on, you come right back on this podcast and you're gonna be like, damn, guess what happened? You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with the positions none of us have now. It's the teaching of life. That's all I'm saying. It ain't you need to change your mind today. I need to change my mind today. It's just the teaching of life. Think about this. The average dude, and I know this segue, and I'm gonna shut up, CKQ. The average dude you hear talk about they don't like homosexuals, faggy motherfuckers, this, that, and that. I ain't with the lifestyle neither. But a lot of them young dudes that talk that shit say, who made your jeans, yo? It wasn't a black woman. It wasn't one of these queens. It wasn't a thorough ass nigga. It's Zygmunt and Freeman and that posse. It's them whole alphabets. Think about some of that, right? Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that metaphorically, right? So all I'm saying is when people talk about that stepdad role, this, that, and that, let me tell you something, man. And then, can I say this one more thing, CKQ?
Go ahead. You good.
My nephew rubbed this 9-year-old when he was in elementary school. He rubbed this 9-year-old girl on her chest in the lunch hall. She pissed on herself. Either embarrassment or fear, right? Either way, she pissed on herself. They sent my nephew home. My nephew went back to school 3 days later. He was 10, okay? When I found out, I went up to that school 2 weeks after he was already back in school. And I asked the teachers, because back then you could ask the teacher, could you take the child out for a minute and bring him back? I say, I want to take my nephew out for a minute and then we come back later. She was like, go ahead. My nephew didn't know that I found out where that girl lived at, that little girl lived at. And I got the phone number to her mother and I asked her, could I come over there? I took my nephew over there with me and I asked that lady, you got any sons? She said, I ain't got no sons. I said, where the father at? She said, in the penitentiary doing 20 years. I said, all right. I pulled my belt off. I said, beat the shit out this motherfucker with my belt. Right in her living room. She wouldn't do that shit. She says, nah. She says, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I said, well, you know what? Can I do it? She was like, yeah. I beat the hell out of his motherfucking ass, right? Because there was a situation there for me that the school, I'm from the street. Let me tell you, I'm from the street. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. My fucking that's just the way it went down. So I ain't from halfway in school and halfway out of school, halfway in church and halfway out. I'm from that shit. So I had to whip this nigga ass and give her the opportunity to do so. So her fucking husband or the kid's father, her 9-year-old's father, wouldn't be sitting in the penitentiary thinking about how many parts he gonna break this nigga up in every night once he get home. And then I had to send a message to my nephew that you don't do this shit because if we allow it, you're gonna try some other shit. And before you know it, you're gonna be running around this bitch raping a motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? I had to check that shit beyond the school, beyond what my sister and them thought. And then when we was going back to the school, I said, you wanna go back to school or you wanna go home? You wanna go to the zoo or something? or you want to go to a movie? It's up to you, man. And he said, oh, no, can we go to the zoo? Yeah, let's go to the zoo. So we went to the zoo and hung out, and I finished talking to him. But this is life. This ain't what seemed logical and what seemed right. This is just life, man. And that's why I say everybody is correct in that sense. All the positions. I'm for all the positions. I'm just telling you that position. I'll shut up.
Damn.
I know that shit look good on paper, man. When people do a Google search, most people do this and 5 people do this. That's correct. But as individuals, watch what life do for you. When you do 100 push-ups a day and you can run 10 miles and you wake up next week and got fucking pancreas cancer. And then you forget when you was on these motherfucking joints talking about, well, all you gotta do, why you just don't do 20 sit-ups every morning?
That's life.
It's life,
That
man.
is life. Does anyone else have anything else to say? On that note, I'm going to be closing out the panel now. All right, Soul Toucher Poet, man, why are you so late? So late.
What up, Soul Toucher?
Well, good to see you, fam. Good to see you. But we're going to close out the panel. Our usual style, usual fashion. It's been a great conversation, people. So we got the doctor.
What up, everybody? You can hit me up at Black Wall Street Trading LLC on YouTube or behavioral_consultant on the Instagram. Good night, everybody.
We got Chris, the Blooming Ebony.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris. You guys can find me on YouTube at The Blooming Ebony and also on Instagram, also at The Blooming Ebony. And make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. I hope you enjoyed this live and I will see you next week. Have a good night.
Full blown.
My sister's keeper, Danielle.
Hi, you can find me on Instagram at Fly Nurse Mom Wife, and here on Tuesdays on the Instagram because I don't put anything on my page. So please like and subscribe.
Shout out to that. We got Yannick with Neek at Is the Night.
Yes, for people who know me at Neek as Night, somebody else already has that name.
Yep.
So I didn't know.
Almost messed it up.
So I'm sorry, y'all. I just came out the hospital yesterday at 12 in the morning. So I'm experiencing some chest pain right now. But anyway,
what type of chest pain?
It's because they fixed my hiatal hernia as well.
Okay, so like you just need some pain medicine because your scar is hurting.
Well, they said it's like referred pain, and it's gas pain. You know how they fill your stomach up with air? Because I had laparoscopy. So all the gas pain, and then she said that stitch that she put at the bottom of my chest and the stitch she put there, I'm gonna feel all the pain in my back and in my chest. But because I stayed at the hospital longer than I was supposed to, actually. I went in last Thursday and just came home yesterday. My blood pressure was very high. My pain was very high. So, but I'm doing good, y'all. I'm home. Doing good. It's just
shout out to that.
I don't know how to stay off internet. That's my problem because I don't got no job right now because I'm off. So I don't know how to stay off the internet. So that's another reason. I just did a live before I came here. So go to 3 Married Ladies Opinions. Right now, because I'm off for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be on there every night at the probably at the 7. So come join us, come say your opinion, have a new topic about relationships, relationship talk. And then also go check us out on YouTube. Go subscribe. I got like 26 subscribers. Go help me out, y'all. And then our private Facebook page. Make sure you go join that. I put a lot of things up in there as well. I also actually do teaching videos and stuff like that where I make different promos. I can make presentations. And you can go to Neek at Productions on Facebook. And I do different lessons on how to make different things with Canva and all that other stuff. So go check that out as well. But definitely come back here next Tuesday and listen to us and CKQ and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
We got CJ, the high value nurse. CJ,
you muted, baby.
Muted. It's late. It's okay.
What's going on, everybody? My name is CJ, the high value nurse on YouTube. Look, make sure y'all subscribe to Clement. He over here putting in work, doing what he's supposed to be doing. Hit that like button, all that good stuff. And y'all go over and check out the High Value Nurse on YouTube. We are almost at 1,200 subscribers. Let's keep running them numbers up. Just dropped a new song called Symbolta. Y'all go check that out. And yeah, young man, please give yourself the best odds. Please. If you ain't got no kids, you young, you successful, start your own family. But anyway, that's all I had to say, man. Thank you for having me and allowing me to come on your platform. And I'll holler at y'all in a minute.
Always. Last but not least, we got Tack Williams.
Yeah, man. As always, I want to say thank you to CKQ for having me on this platform, and definitely all of the regulars on the panel, man. I appreciate y'all. All the different views, the angles, the vantage points is good. I just think it's healthy, you know. You guys come over here and subscribe, and let's get this count going. Show some support for this brother, man. And yeah, this brother allows you to have the voice no matter what. And I think that's dope in and of itself. So I just want to say thanks. Yeah, my YouTube channel, Tack Williams, TAK Williams. Come over there and check some stuff out. I've been focused on day trading stuff. In the next 2 weeks, I'm actually going to start a new segment where I'm going to use a different brokerage app or trading platform and start 2 different accounts with just $1,000 to try to give some air or some breath into people who might just want to start with 1,000. Because what I found out is a lot of people, they just, you know, where I be going at, it might be the wrong angle or something or whatever. So I'm just going to try to reach back at that level and show how we can just grow that account on other platforms. So thanks a lot, CKQ. Thanks.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fantastic night. Great conversation. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel for more content like this. We go live every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And this has been a great conversation. It went all over the place. We touched on a lot of different topics, but predominantly circled around that Stepfathers, stepdaddy season, you know? And I think it's a conversation that needs to keep happening. So we might touch back on that a little bit again. But until then, it has been a great, fantastic night. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week. Peace.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their fathers.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth. Start speaking the truth. Might get shot.
I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
But the whole thing is men are I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we could paint the perfect picture without belittling each other. Because under God's system,
we are equipped to handle that responsibility. But not every man is fit to handle that responsibility.
I done seen flip Michigan
and it's just being
cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep.
So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they can find someone.
And expecting you to do your apart. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School rob you with needed resources.
Is the weaker vessel and the more vulnerable
Absolutely.
vessel.
100%.
You don't look at the man like, oh, poor son, you were violated. No, you like, right.
And nobody.
They shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts, come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all I play their part. And it's the start.
Put myself in a situation where I can only rely on a man. Like if I'm married and being a stay-at-home mom, I need to have a backup in case anything happens. I can't only rely on him. You know what I'm saying?
A flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
Poet, and the best part of me shows it. Here to speak the message of what is known, but not what it takes to expose it. Listen closer as I take you on a mental path. See divisions, the math, hoping we clash on lower levels, just like in the past. Before we begin to see spared lives, keep in mind the first 3 letters of unity starts with you and I. And maybe then we can all thrive, changing the narratives of our lives, finding belief from inside.